Woo! Time to learn.
What it do, boys and girls? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, all of you sexy motherfuckers.
Oh my God, I had such a great night and a great morning fucking poking fun at these assholes. Oh, it was fucking great. Scumbags.
Oh, you were just getting started. How many people checking in on you, Wes? Are you okay, man?
Oh
Wes,
my God, it's
how was
freaking
you? How
hilarious.
was you doing? Wes, what's going on, man?
You know I love it, bro. I love it. I love to ruffle feathers, man. That's what I do, bro. Fuck all these scumbags. RH took a break and people just running amok. We just gonna
If y'all haven't seen all the posts that Wes is replying to, he's replying to all the fake motherfuckers who are out there, and
thank
it's
you.
quite interesting to see. Somebody's got to do it. I'm glad it's him, not me.
Oh yeah, bruh. I'm a hold it down. We the new OGs, man. It's corny. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna sit quiet and let these guys run amok while RH is gone.
All y'all the new OGs. Everyone here is the new OGs. Let's
You,
get it.
you don't know. As soon as RH comes back, I'm gonna fall back. But as of right now, I'm the new RH.
My bad. My mic was off, folks. All right. So check it out. I want to talk a little bit about that just to help people understand the actual issue. Because I don't want people to come at me with this or come at us with this builder hating bullshit. Like, yo, making a meme coin is not building, number one. So shut the fuck up with that, first of all. Second of all, you want to have fun, yo? That's fine. But you better disclose the fact that that's what the fuck it is. Because if you're not being forthcoming about what a meme coin is and what its purpose is, the unsuspecting novice that is trying to learn about what crypto is isn't going to know the difference between sugar and shit because to them it all looks the same. That's something that people that are in crypto and understand the difference, you, that individual that is playing yourself by playing others, you're responsible for that motherfucker losing his money, even if you think you're not. Because what are you doing? What are you doing? We're literally doing the same thing that motherfuckers do in real life. You out here perpetrating a fraud, acting like that's the shit to do. I remember when I was a kid and baggy pants and all that baggy clothes shit started popping off. And I'm a little kid at the time. I didn't understand, right? Just like motherfuckers coming into crypto do not understand. So what do you do as a little motherfucker in the game? Well, you're following what the big dudes is doing, are you not? Well, of course you are. Because that's what we, as humans, which we're just like animals, do. Monkey see, monkey do. There's no debate to be had about that. That's a motherfucking fact. You don't gotta like it. And I don't give a fuck if you don't like it. But guess what? It's true. And this is what's important. Go ahead, brother.
You know the best part about it too. I was thinking about even what you were saying, how people don't know the difference between the shit and the sugar. Just coming in from a basis, but they act like it is by far like
The
the
same.
only thing ever to exist,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I find crazy. I'm like, you won't even acknowledge the real.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's this weird mental compartmentalization that is just funky because, money makes us think of crazy things. And this is again, it all goes back to the behavior and why you're doing what you're doing. It's always gonna go back to that why. And shout out to Post Disciple, because I know he ain't here right now, but he's really the one that that line of thought, even though, right, when we had the first spaces, it wasn't obvious that it was the underlying premise of everything, right? No matter what, you must always take into consideration the why behind your actions. Because otherwise, well, what are you doing, right? Because it's so easy to just do whatever, right? If you've ever participated in any market in the electronic era, right, post 2005, 2010, you know how easy it is to get wrecked in markets because all you got to do is put some money in an account, click buy, click sell, you're wrecked. Literally like that little South Park meme that says, and it's gone. That's literally how it works. Go ahead, brother.
And it's gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead and invest in me. And it's gone.
that's right. And what's the funny thing about that is in that little clip of South Park, that motherfucker wasn't investing nothing. He was literally just putting his money in a bank. No investment was made. And 20 years on, or almost 30 years on from that little clip, people still laugh and do not get the fucking clip. And that's exactly what this whole Twitter space is about. So you can understand what that clip means. Because people think, number one, that they get paid in money, and they do not. And if you missed the first two Twitter spaces, go back and listen. Because I'm not rehashing a fucking thing. Treat this as if it's real life. If your ass don't know something, go back and fucking learn it because you need to know it. Right? Because what did I start out talking about? The motherfuckers that don't know shit and how they end up getting rinsed because they're following sucker motherfuckers that don't know they're suckers and think they're cool because I'm just having fun, man. Mass adoption, bro. Why are you hating on my bag and my gains and all that gay shit? And yo, look, again, do whatever the fuck you want. But like I said a while ago, you need to treat this shit like a relationship. You are not walking out the crib with your mistress ever. You're never doing that. You're walking out your crib with your main piece. And whoever says no, well, we know you a Captain Save-A-Ho. So we don't give a fuck about what your opinion is, do we? No, we do not. So don't even think that you have anything to say because you don't have anything to say that adds value. Because we're talking about not getting wrecked. We're talking about not being there at the fucking initial launch of a fucking meme coin. We're talking about motherfuckers that don't know the difference between a meme coin and a fucking real crypto. Now, if you take offense to that, I'm sorry, but I don't give a fuck. And you probably already know that if you're in this space. And if you're not, well, welcome. I'm Wells only and I don't give a fuck. And you'll eventually learn why I don't need to give a fuck. Because any information you receive from me, you can verify and it's going to be true. And if it's not, guess what? I'm going to take that shit and go fucking figure it out because I think I got it figured out if I'm talking about it. If I'm not, you're not going to hear me talking about it. That's just the rules. And that's what makes me different than everybody else that you're going to hear talking about crypto or anything, in fact. Because I'm not going to sit here and get on a soapbox like I'm doing you a favor by running my fucking mouth. I'm not. I'm literally here to share information that's going to help you and your whole crew. If you don't want to advance in life or progress, then you don't need to be here. This is not a fucking hangout spot where we chit chat and share fucking war stories. Number one, none of you motherfuckers got war stories because I don't know many motherfuckers up in here that I can see that was in the service. So none of you motherfuckers got war stories. So what you need to be doing, grabbing a notepad and writing shit down that your ass don't understand. And this is assuming you don't have a good memory. Because if you do, well, you can remember it and look it up later, right? So the whole objective is for you, and this is big picture view, is for you to understand why cryptocurrency is important, why you need to care about the fact that you don't get paid in real money. Because guess what we all do once we learn about life? We understand that we have to put in work to earn, right? And if you're from the streets, you learn that very early. And if you've been what's the word? Uh Sheltered your whole life, and now you're like 20 something, 30 something, and you're like, fuck, I'm not prepared for life. Welcome. Now is the time to pull your pants up and fucking learn. And it's easy. Now, this is the one thing I want people to understand. This stuff is so easy. But the problem is that people want what's not realistic. Right? And just for an example, when I first started talking about crypto and stuff like that in a public sense, I made this crazy call that people really didn't understand. And that's my own fault for even going here, because I didn't understand the audience right at the time. I was under the impression that the audience was more astute than it clearly is, right? Because 3 years forward, we're still talking about basic crypto shit. Literally. 3 years forward, we're talking about basic crypto stuff. And this is no knock to the new guys, because you are in need of learning the new stuff. I'm literally knocking on the guys that have been here before me, acting like they fucking know, when it's apparent and obvious that they don't have a fucking clue. And you can see it. All you gotta do is go to their Twitter threads. And they all got large followings, of course, because that's how Scam City works. And that's the problem, right? A lot of people that are sheltered and come from backgrounds where there is no malice in their experience set, right? In your experiential, in your empirical data set, you don't know what malice is. And I'm sorry to say, but this is cryptocurrency where it's the internet. And I don't know if you know how the internet works. And if you don't, and you think you're going to come in crypto and succeed, I'm going to stop you right there, because step number one is learning what the fuck the internet is and how it works. Because if you don't know that, I don't know why you're even here. Because how the hell you intend to buy crypto? It happens on the internet. Everything crypto centric is online, not on some platform from a PayPal or an Amazon or a bank. That is not crypto. There is no centralized entity. There's no company. There is no organization. There is no there's no nothing. There's no foundation, no institutions. There's nothing behind crypto. And that's rule number one of crypto. If there's people and a company and all this funky corporate legalese type shit involved,
If they got the C suite.
correct. If they got a C-suite, that is not crypto. Thank you, ATX. You really made it simple for me. That's right. If they got a C-suite, that is not crypto. It's that simple. Seriously. If you see any entity shilling a crypto, run the other way. Simple. Because guess what? That's not crypto. Now, how could I say that with such authority? Well, it's very simple. If you understand why crypto exists, then you understand that the claim being made is factual and the only way it could work. Because what's the actual problem at hand? Well, the actual problem at hand is that you wake up every day thinking you're going to go put in some work and achieve something that day. But I don't know if you've seen your parents. I don't know if you've seen your family members. I don't know if you've paid attention to the people that have been around longer than you. And I'm not talking about the lucky few that hit the lick in some fortunate way or whatever. I'm not talking about people that got quote unquote lucky. Because of course we all know we make our luck. I'm talking about just the simple reality of our economic situation as a society of human beings. This is what I'm talking about. Because what I want people to really understand and internalize is very simple. we should not, and by we, I mean humans, people that live today, we should not have to aspire to being famous, fame seeking, or entertainers, or anything that puts a spotlight on you to survive. Okay? Like, that should not be the number one thought in people's minds in order to survive. Not live, not advance, not determine their success or very base case of living, but just to survive. That's a very profound statement that I know for a fact nobody in crypto under fucking stands. Why? Because I don't hear anybody talking about it. I don't give a fuck who they are. The biggest, most renowned individual in crypto, and I mean fake crypto, clearly not our shit, because we're the real crypto. But the fugazi industry does not talk about the actual problem. What do? They promote coins that they want you to buy. They do not explain to you why you are now here in this space entertaining the idea of swapping a fiat currency note for a supposed digital asset. Why the fuck are you here? You think you're here to make money, right? That's what people think. And it again goes back to how I started this train of thought. You should not have to desire or feel the need to have to become a movie star, a musician, athlete, whatever have you, an entertainer of any type, to be able to survive. Okay, now I need you to understand I'm using the word survive. Not advance in life, not make more money, survive. Because that is where we're at in 2023. If you live in a place where there's a lot of people, it's not rural, your cost of living is going up at a rate that has never been seen in the United States. Or, let me rephrase that. If you live anywhere in the Western world, i.e. the developed world, i.e. not a third world country, where stuff is quote unquote developed, there's infrastructure and whatnot, schools and whatnot, your cost of living is going up weekly, if not monthly, if not daily. This has never happened, except for Germany, in most cases, right? That happening in the West is something that is unheard of. And that right there has been happening literally since the beginning of central banking, right? Most people don't even know there's been 3 central banks in the United States. Most people don't know anything about central banks, but yet they think that they're crypto experts. I'm here to inform you that they are not. If the individuals that are attempting to educate you in crypto don't know anything about central banking, don't know anything about money in banking, don't know anything about the monetary system and how it works, well, you're not listening to an expert in anything. You're being lied to or just being given misinformation. Because again, what are they going to do? They're going to send you to the shit sites of the world to allow you to get wrecked. Now, is that what you're looking for? That's the question. Right? And then the answer is an obvious no, because nobody comes here to not get rich. And that's number one, right? But the thing that people do not understand about this idea of getting rich is that you have to have the mentality for it, number one. It's not like you just show up to work, do your task, and go the fuck home. That's not what getting rich is. And I think that that's the problem that most people have. They think it's a task that they just knock off the to-do list. And I'm here to inform you that that's not true. Unless you're a trust fund baby that was born with money, you don't get to do that. You don't get to just learn the task and keep it moving. There's a whole fucking mind frame that you have to have so you can understand what it is you're doing with this tool that's money. Because first and foremost, you have to understand, why do we even care about money? Because at the very base of reality, you innately know, you inside, you, the individual, know what you would like to do if you didn't have to get paid. There is something that every individual in this realm would do for free. I do not think that there is a single person out here that wouldn't do something for free that they enjoy doing, because that's what they fucking enjoy doing. I like, it's very basic, right? But when you lay that down for people, they have a hard time wrapping their head around that. And the simple reason why is because they've never thought about themselves in that way. What would I do that I enjoy 24 fucking 7 for free if I could, that would add value to society? Because there is something that we could all do for free. I mean, who doesn't like doing what they like doing? Everybody. Period. That's why the fuck they like doing it, right? It's very basic. It's very basic. So once you wrap your head around certain economic ideas, this crypto thing is a no-brainer. But that is step number one. You have to understand, why do you care about $1 versus 1 unit of crypto? And it doesn't matter what the crypto is. And this is what people have to understand, because that is step number one. I don't give a fuck what crypto you like. If you don't know why the fuck you're in crypto, the crypto you like doesn't matter, because you're not going to be around long enough for it to matter what crypto you like. Now, write that shit down, record it, share it with everybody you fucking know, because that's a fact. You want to know how I know? Because I did that shit twice. 2 times. And I am the pinnacle of education when it comes to crypto now. But I had to take 2 fucking losses that could have changed my life 2 times over 10 years ago, because I did not know better. And this is why I go so hard, and I don't care about the fool rules and all the fake motherfuckers out there that think they're Hexicans and they're Foxicans, because that's what the fuck they are. The full rules are people that think they know what they're talking about when it comes to crypto, and they don't. You got those on Wall Street too. I work on Wall Street, all that shit. I know all that shit. Doesn't matter. Because those people that are on Wall Street, guess where they're not? They're not here. They don't know what the next trade is. They're still trying to figure it out, 99.9% of them. And guess what? They're only now just figuring it out because they got a fucking green light from BlackRock, i.e. the central banks, right? So these are the facts of cryptocurrency. You don't have to like them. You don't. But guess what? Not learning them is going to cost your ass, just like it cost me. And the many others that got similar stories just like me. Because I'm not the only one with this type of story. 100 motherfucking 1,000,000,000 people out there with the same story that I just shared with you as far as crypto experience. Hell, there's tweets you can see. But what do we see? We see people not caring about the facts. We see people playing themselves, FOMOing in, FOMOing out. Because you got to realize, you can FOMO buy and FOMO sell. It's not a one-way scenario. You can get wrecked both ways. So I know I threw a million things at the crowd in a very small amount of time, but that's crypto. You have to be ready to rock. This shit is like the special forces of finance. This is like the special forces of life, actually. Because you have to understand finance, you have to understand economics, you have to understand accounting, you have to understand how to read code, you have to understand how software is made, you have to understand how the internet works, you have to understand how our society is structured to work and operate on a legal and lawful basis. Otherwise, you don't know anything. Sadly, you're just giving an opinion that's unsubstantiated most of the time and cannot be corroborated or confirmed. And you see this across the crypto space. And clearly I'm talking about the fake crypto space, because real crypto is either real crypto or is not. So if it's not real crypto, then it's fake, right? Now, why do I keep harping on fake and real, fake and real? Well, ask the people that put their money in protocols where they can't get their money out. I think they can tell you the difference between fake and real really quick. Because what did they think? They thought they were going in to step up to an ATM, put in their little fiat dollars, and extract more fiat dollars after exchanging fiat for crypto and holding that crypto for a little while. This is the truth. That's the reality of what people think they're stepping up to do when they're engaging in crypto. Now, it's important to understand that that's not the fucking case ever in any market. Only when it's a bull market does that apply. Now, if you don't believe me, write that shit down, write the date down, write the time down. It's 1800 hours Eastern Daylight Time. Write the fucking time down. Write the date. It's August 19th, 2023. Go buy whatever the fuck you want. I'll wait for you to come back in a month. Let me know what the results were. Because you think you're going to buy anything and it's just going to go up. Because it's crypto. But I'm here to tell you, no. That's literally not how it works. That only works in bull markets, and that's because in the bull market, everything is going up. You don't need any skills in a bull market. Any cocksucker with a fucking finger gets rich in a bull market, in crypto or the stock market. Yeah, both. You don't need to come to crypto to get rich. You just don't know any better, so you think you do. And this is what's important to understand.
Hold on, go back and say that one more time.
Okay. Where do you want me to start from? The
last 10
the last
seconds
bit.
that you said.
Okay, yeah.
Incredible.
So, yeah. So people think they're gonna step up to crypto to get rich, or they're coming to crypto to think that they're gonna get rich here because they don't know that they can also get rich in the stock market, because it's the same thing. A bull market is a bull market is a bull market. That's the only time you can throw shit at a wall and you're gonna win. In a bear market, it clearly doesn't work. That's why everybody's out here chasing shit coins and meme coins, which is fine. Do whatever you want. But you have to understand that you're just playing yourself because you're not being strategic. You're not being forward thinking. You think you are. You think you know what you're doing, but you're going to soon learn that you don't, because the market is going to tell you that. It's going to inform you that your decision was incorrect. Ask all the guys that have been calling hex bottoms, and that includes myself. And what have I said after every time I was saying, oh, this looks like a bottom? Well, we don't really fucking know, because any schmuck can just say, I'm going to sell 1 million hex or whatever.
And you never know what the next whale's going to do.
That's right.
Never. And whales can adjust everything so quick.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because that's a great point. A whale, for all intents and purposes, has way more than everybody else, period. It's very simple, right? Way more than everybody else. So what does that mean? What that means is, unless you have that specific address clocked as a whale, you don't actually know that the entity transacting behind that is actually a whale. You just know that they bought 1 million coins or 10,000 or 10 coins, right? You don't actually know anything. And this is why I don't buy into the whole blockchain analysis shit. You don't know who's going to do what, when, or why. So why do you think you're getting any insight from looking at some random transaction as if you got a football field in front of you and you got all the players laid out? It's not a chess game, motherfucker. You can't outthink what some other, you just can't do that. You can have theories and scenarios mapped out as far as what price might do because of whatever have you. But one address or 20 addresses or 50 addresses does not make a market, period. I don't give a fuck who you are, where you from, what you say. It's not true. What's true is that when people want to come in and buy this thing, whatever it is, they're going to fucking buy it. And that thing is going to fucking skyrocket. And I've shown billions of examples of this being a fact, because it happened in Hex. It happens in all manner of cryptos. You see it all the time, right? How many cryptos come out that you never hear of, and all of a sudden this shit did 20 million X, and this shit is a week old? So, you got to understand what the fuck is going on before you start acting like you know what the fuck to do. And that's the problem. People show up to crypto, they see all these clowns being loud and boisterous as if they have a clue. But the sad fact is that a lot of these people are just playing a role online. They're not offering you any actual valuable information that you can take, assess, and act upon, or not. Right? Because that's why you're assessing the fucking information. People think that they're just supposed to come in here, receive a command, and go off and get rich. And that's just not what it is. Because if you come here when it's not a bull market, like right now, guess what? Your ass is going to get chopped up like fucking onions, and nobody's going to give a shit. You think they're going to give a shit? Nah. What they're going to say is, well, man, that's your money. You shouldn't have made that decision. You should have known better. That's what these cocksuckers are going to fucking say. You should have known better, even though I was telling you not to do better. That's what you find in the fake ass crypto industry. That's what you guys need to write the fuck down. That's what you need to take stock of when you're out here interacting with all these clowns that are always in your face trying to get you to follow them and, give them a fucking pat in the ass, because that's what these motherfuckers need. You don't see me being all up in your face looking for a fucking anything. I don't give a fuck. It's not my objective. My objective is to provide valuable information that you can take and act on. Because guess what? I already know what the fuck I need to do, but do you? You probably don't, because we're living in times that nobody has in a history book. Period. What is happening right now has never, ever happened in history before. So how do you know what to do when you don't? Nobody does. All we can discuss and share is real information that can give us the best risk-adjusted play. And if you don't know what a symmetry is, you better look that word up, because that's what this is all about. If you think you're going to survive on fiat if shit hits the fan, then you don't have a fucking clue what you're talking about. Because when shit hits the fan, none of this shit is going to matter. So this is not about shit hitting the fan, because there's different levels to everything. At this level, we're literally talking about only understanding the economic issues at hand, which will become evident shortly. The question is, after that, how bad will things get? And we don't know. We don't know that. We don't know how bad things will get. It will depend on, honestly, everybody's individual decision making. That's honestly what it's going to be. And again, we don't know what that's going to look like, because we've never been through it before. All we know is what we've seen other countries go through. And I'm going to tell you what, if you haven't been a part of anything like that, you can't even imagine it. So just don't bother. The only thing you need to worry about is having what you need to have in case something does happen. Because what is one thing that's true? One thing that is presently true is that society at large doesn't care about itself. Doesn't matter the country. It does not matter the people. Nobody gives a fuck about themselves in general. How can I say that? Well, let's look around. I don't care what country you're from, what country you're in. You live in a country where a random group of individuals are manipulating everybody, and everybody's okay with it. That's a fact. And that is how I can say that nobody gives a fuck about themselves, because nobody else will sit here and tell you that fact. And they cannot even start to explain how that's a fact. You see? But I've already done that. So this isn't about that. This is just about relaying facts. Because at the end of the day, if you have kids and you're not preparing, you're a shitty ass parent. You don't got to like it, but it's true. Because what are your kids going to learn? That mommy and daddy were too busy fucking off instead of giving a fuck about what was actually happening. because what's coming is already here. It's already happening, and parents don't care. I mean, we live in a time, and again, this is because it's unique. You know, crypto wouldn't matter if all of this shit wasn't happening. And I think that that's the problem that a lot of people have with understanding all these side topics that come up when we're discussing crypto. And the reason that comes to mind is because I don't know how many times I've heard the phrase, let's not get political, crypto's not about politics, and all this bull fucking shit that is so asinine that it clearly highlights the fact that the individual that's making that statement has no fucking idea what crypto is. None. Because yes, it's fucking political. Do you not know why crypto was made? Right? Because that's exactly why crypto was made. It's all political. Period. Money is political. That's why it's called the political economy. It's not called anything else. And for those of you that are trying to request mic time, just let me get through my spiel and my talk, and then you guys can jump in later on. But I want to get through my material before I give the floor to people to start interrupting. Because there's facts and then there's opinions. You know, I'm not sharing my opinion at all. I'm giving you what's true. If you don't know it to be true, then you just need to go and verify it. Period. Because what I'm telling you is true. Just because you don't experience it or have not experienced it yet does not mean it's not true. Expand your empirical data set. I've lived with white people. I've lived with black people. I've lived with Asians. I've lived with Southeast Asians. I live with Afghanis, Iraq. I live with all manner of fucking people. Indian, whatever. Bangladeshi. So when I'm speaking from a manner of experience and, again, an empirical data set. I'm not giving you an opinion. I'm giving you an experiential note. Everybody's going to have different experiences, of course. But I'm always going to speak from a point where it's the most common anecdote. Because why am I going to give a unique point that's not going to be common? It's not going to add any value, right? And I think that that's important for people to understand. Because it's like teaching your kid. How can you teach your kids something that they haven't experienced? How can they relate it? There's nothing for them to hold on to. So you have to put it in some simple term so that they can relate it to something that they know, right, within their limited data set. Because we have to realize we as people, we're really machines. And I know it's hard for people to think that, because I know the first time I heard that shit, it was mind bending. I could not imagine that this electrochemical thing, am a machine. But yes, I am a fucking machine. Think about it. You store information. You have it filed away. You can retrieve it. You can, all this crazy. We do everything a computer does, if not better. The question is, how do you tool yourself to be as good, if not better than a computer? That's all. At the end of the day, we all receive and store and process information. That's what we all do. How we react and all that other stuff, that's a completely separate system, right? That's a function of our programming. You see? So again, we go back to being machines. And this is what's important to understand, because, you know, you guys got to understand. Right now, this person that's talking to you is an individual that couldn't even do math at one point in time. I did not know basic mathematics. And I'm not talking about arithmetic. I'm talking about just even being good at doing it. Like I'm just incompetent, incapable. Okay? So listen to me now. I do not sound incompetent. I do not sound incapable. I can point you to any reference source, any reference material, educate you on damn near numerous topics, not just finance and economics and accounting and math and all this other basic shit, right? And this is because I decided to do something about my state of affairs at that point in time. Because guess who I was? I was that guy that the man was holding down. You know, I was that dumb motherfucker that thought he was hood and all this stupid shit that don't pay the bills. None of that fake fugazi wannabe gangster shit pays the bills. That's why these motherfuckers is rotting in cells. Real men don't play themselves. Real men don't let systems manipulate them. And by real men, real women, whatever. You know, I'm not into that fucking bullshit either. So, whatever. Real people. If you're an authentic individual, you're not going to care who's there to tell you whatever. You're there about information and how it can help you or not. Because that's what life is, right? When you're trying to make something happen and you don't have the ability to make it happen because you don't have that information set, what do? You have to seek it out, right? You really have to seek it out. And that is hard for people to do. This is why so many people are stuck in this proverbial glass ceiling. And you see it if you work, you see it. If you've been to school, you see it. If you've ever been around other people, you see it, right? So why is it okay for you to be okay with being meager and mediocre and not wanting more for yourself? Why is it okay for you to want to just come to crypto and get rich quick and be out? Why do you think that's going to work? Has a 20-minute YouTube video ever led to any success for you in any facet of your life? And I don't mean cooking, because, right, that's, unless you a chef, I mean, even then, you getting shorted because you don't know all the ins and outs of that thing you're cooking, right? So at the end of the day, you know, it goes back to your why. Why are you here? Are you here to play yourself? Because you can play yourself at a casino with free drinks, you know, if that's your thing. Like, you don't got to be online and doing all this crazy shit just to go broke. Because that's my message. This shit is easy. But it's so easy that it's easy to play yourself as well. It's just like the streets. And that's what's hard for people because there's no rules. There's no reference source. There's nowhere for you to go and get a pamphlet for you to figure out what you're supposed to do. This isn't even like the military or like prison where you're going to go in and somebody's going to point you here, point you there, tell you what to do. This is not like that. This is something where you have to want it. You have to put in the work. You have to want to know what the fuck is going on, because otherwise somebody going to play you, man. And you're not going to expect it because you thought y'all was cool. Because you thought the internet was real life. And you was just playing yourself. Not realizing that, nah, this is the fucking internet, bro. This shit is not real and nobody gives a fuck. Everybody's out here for self. In most instances, there's very few people that will take the time, as I am doing, to relay invaluable information that can change your fucking life, because it changed mine. Otherwise, why do I give a fuck about telling you any of this? Why? You got to ask yourself, why is this person that's talking to me right now going out of his way to say all this shit? Does he just like hearing himself talk? Like, you gotta really analyze everything you're involved in. You can't just be doing things to do it. And you know I was doing that shit for a long time. Hell, my motto in life was fuck it for the longest time. And I thought that shit made so much sense because so much shit would just roll over me. But guess what would roll over me too? Because I said fuck it to everything. All manner and kinds of opportunities. I did not live. And this is something I'm really just figuring out in my 30s, you know, in my late 30s. I didn't give myself the life that I wanted to live because I said fuck it and did for others and not for me. And you know what I got in return for that? A lesson from the universe to be more selfish. Now, again, I'm here taking time out of my weekend to talk what seems like because I feel like talking. But is that really what's going on here? And this is what I implore the audience to think about as I continue to just ramble on. Because to me, it's rambling because I've already learned from my mistakes, right? So my objective here is to relay all my mistakes to the crowd so that they don't succumb to this idea that they have to learn the hard way. Because I'm going to be honest with you guys. Learning the hard way sucks like a motherfucker. And if I could have picked another route, I probably would have. Would I be the same person I am today? Probably not. Would I be educating you guys? Probably not. I probably wouldn't have to. Somebody else probably would have filled that role, right? Because there's always somebody there to do, again, what they like doing. So while I'm here talking to the crowd and proverbially doing what I like, because yes, I do love talking finance, economics, and all this stuff. This is what I do. And the interesting thing about my background is that I always did it, and I just didn't know. Like ever since I was born, basically, and I just didn't know. Because again, we all do things that add value to society without knowing it. And this is why, in my opinion, now this is my opinion, and I would love to talk about this with the crowd later. I'm a firm believer that the notion of money is false. It's merely to manipulate people because once again, every human that is taught something that they likes to do that thing that adds value to society. I'm not talking about degenerate, debaucherous shit. So please, help yourself if that's where your mind is going. So that's something that I'm a firm believer that is true. Now that's my opinion. Now that is of course all dependent on society, how it's structured, and how it decides to raise children. Because go ahead. Oh, my bad, brother. Because that's what it boils down to. I was a child. I am how I am because of how I was programmed or wasn't. And everybody is no different. In that respect, we're all precisely the same. Period. There is no differentiation between one human and another with respect to that statement that I just made. We are all a function of what we were programmed to be or not. That's a fact. Now, as you grow older and mature, you can adjust your programming. And I didn't think that was a thing. You see, and this is why I go out of my way to continuously provide information to society, because it ain't for me. I already have it. Now, why do I go out of my way to get on this quote unquote soapbox? Because I don't get on a soapbox. I don't care if you hear me. I'm here to really give people what I know they need, because guess what? I wish I would have had it. That's why I do this. And that's the reason as to why I am here sharing the information that I'm sharing. However, that's coming from me, right? Everybody's going to have a public comment as to why they do something. Now, as I talk, you're going to notice that I pause a lot. That's because I don't prepare for anything in most instances. Everything is right off the top of the dome. Consider this shit a straight freestyle, because I don't need notes and all that shit unless I really feel I want to stay organized. But this is stuff that I just know cold, because again, this is decades upon decades, and I'm only 30 in my late 30s. So it ain't that many decades, and this is all I do. Again, this is what I do. This is not a hobby to me. I am not here to get rich. I am here because this is where I am. You motherfuckers are here to get rich. You see the difference? Y'all need to write that shit down too, because again, the information is available if you want it. The question is, are you willing to take it and run with it? Now, that was just all to qualify myself a little bit, because I want you to hear what's about to be said. Crypto is the intermediary step to freedom. It has to be, because you cannot be free unless you are financially free in the way our society is structured. That unfortunately is true. That's why people feel the need and desire to have to become entertainers, performers, whatever have you. You know, just do things that they wouldn't normally aspire to do because they don't have any interest in even being public, right? Now, how does it make sense that we live in a world where people that add no actual value in terms of yield per energy? You know, I love music and movies and all that fun shit, sports and all that. But guess what? That shit doesn't help you eat. That shit doesn't help you do motherfucking thing unless you're the one on stage or on the field benefiting from it. That's a fact. That's not an opinion. That's a pastime. That's not something that society should revolve around. However, it does. Super Bowls, World Series, championships, PGA tours, all that bullshit stops anything, whatever. Whoever likes that shit, US Open, whatever. Shit is stopping. It's just basically like a fucking holiday wherever it's happening. It don't matter. It's stopping whatever's going on. It takes precedent. I grew up right by Yankee Stadium, in fact. So I wasted my entire youth on sports. And I say wasted because I didn't know that talent didn't matter. I didn't know that having a network is what mattered. Even in something as trivial as sports. Who you know is more important than what skill set you bring to the table. This is why you see the shitty ass, quote unquote, professional leagues that we see today. Now, when I was growing up, you had motherfuckers that loved the sport playing the fucking games. Nowadays, you just got a bunch of bitch ass motherfucking prima donna motherfuckers out there crying about how they hurting and they don't want to play. That's what you see now versus what we saw in the 90s and in the 80s. It's just true. You don't gotta like it, but that's a fact. Hell, even boxing. Shit, even boxing ain't shit. I think that shit just coming back now. I resorted to watching bare knuckle boxing because I just don't care anymore. I don't got the time. I don't, who got time for that? Nobody. Only people that are wasting their time and have nothing productive to do are wasting their time on those types of activities. Straightforward. How do I know? Well, I just told you I wasted my youth on sports. So if anybody knows, it's me. And I'm not saying wasted because I didn't make it. I just explained to you the value it adds to society. If you don't see the value it adds today, which is none, I don't know what to tell you. Now, again, this is not an opinion. This is a fact. Don't come to me with all this bullshit of how these teams add economic fucking progression to the local economies, because that's not fucking true either. Sorry. Because what you don't know is all these stadiums that are built, you pay for them. The teams do not. The owners don't. You do. Via municipal debt that these teams take out. Yeah, that's right. Look, man, let me not get off the trails too far, but the point is, go ahead, man.
Go down, far, far off the
Yeah,
trails, man.
I didn't look. Do people even know the NFL is a 501(c)(3)? I think the MLB is too. The NBA definitely is. Like, y'all getting
We don't
fucking
gotta pay
played.
no taxes.
No taxes. None. But your stupid ass is all worried about the tax man. Oh my God, I gotta pay my taxes. And shut the fuck up. Why don't you go learn something and stop being a bitch? And people hate when I talk like that because, Wales, why you gotta be so rude and raunchy and hurt people's feelings? Because you motherfuckers aren't even trying. That's why. And when you get told that, it hurts your fucking feelings because you know it's true. Now, here's my retort to you. Why don't you become tired of getting stepped on and do something about it? Why don't you do that? Why isn't that an option? Why is getting ran over by a bunch of random psycho pedophiles an option? Why is that okay? But standing up for yourself and your fucking family is not. That's something I would love to know. Because that's some shit I just really don't get. I don't get it. Because that is literally what's happening in society. That is why we have crypto. That is why we have to have all these black markets. Because we can't do anything that benefits us outright We have to do it behind closed doors. Well, let me just put it plainly in English that you people would understand. It's all illegal. You can't store rainwater. You can't collect rainwater. You can't do all these ridiculous things in this country. You know, everyone listening to this shit right now that lives in America is a federal criminal and they don't even know it. And that's a fact. Also, not an opinion. Also a fact, not an opinion. You know what I'm saying? So, how do you get off on thinking you have a leg to stand on by telling me I'm being rude or anything when you're not even being a motherfucking human being, let alone an adult? How about that? Right? How about we start there? And that's not an opinion either. That's a fact. Because at the end of the day, what are we seeing? What are we seeing? Exactly that. Oh, I'm gonna pause real quick. Pause disciple. I sent you a co-host invite, brother, just so you know.
Yeah, Wes. No, Wes had to. He's trying to step down and step back in. It's not. He's having audio issues right now. So
Wes, all
see,
right.
because
Let
I
me
think
see
you
if
can
I
only
can.
have
I'm gonna
two
remove
co-hosts.
him. I'm. Really?
Yeah. So just
Uh,
remove him and see if you can knock it out.
I'll remove them. I'm gonna remove. I remove them from co-hosts. Uh, and I'm invite again. Yeah, you can invite more than two.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. I just invited him back. I invited Pose Disciple too. So once I think it goes to the DM. I don't know.
You don't know? I thought you knew. I guess not.
I don't.
Yo, keep it
Word up.
moving, dog. I'm here. I'm chilling. I lost audio for a bit, but I'm back.
Appreciate it,
And real
brother.
quick, I just want to say,
Cool.
fuck all the scumbags. Y'all a bunch of assholes. Continue.
Save it for later, man. Save it for later. But yo, check it. Again, crypto exists because we're living at a unique point in time. And it all manifested starting in the 1980s. Right? It all started with commercial banks being able to just initially expand the monetary system, right? At least that's what it seemed like.
Is that just from fractional reserve?
Yeah. Because okay, so let me start there. So, what is our banking system? Our banking system very plainly is a series of entities where you go deposit your money. They then record it on their books and then they are able to then acquire, and this is the important part because people confuse this. Once these banks have your deposits on the books, okay, they can then go to the main bank, which is the central bank, in whichever district that they're in, because that's how everything is centralized. So it's always a district, a region, some structure before you get to the top. So you got all the little banks report up to a regional bank that reports up to the central bank, right? That's the basic pyramid structure that we all are familiar with within centralized organizations. It's no different here. So once we make our deposits, which everybody does, but they shouldn't do, what then happens is that these banks are then in business because then they can step up to the Fed or any central bank and be like, hey, I got X number of deposits. Okay. So because I got X number of deposits, that means I can control this much money. And that is actually how the banking system works. That's it. The question is, what is this bank going to do with those so-called monies, which are not monies? It's debt because they're borrowing it so they can then lend it out. But to you, it's just money. And the money takes different forms. It takes the form of a paycheck. It takes the form of a mortgage. It takes the form of a college loan. It takes the form of a personal loan. It takes the form of an auto loan. But who is giving out all these loans? Where is this money coming from? How is it that there's only $1 million deposited in this bank, but their balance sheet says 125 million? What the fuck is going on? And when that happens, that is when you come to learn what fractional reserve banking is. And in essence, it's an entity that's set up to operate on the basis of your beliefs. Now, what does that mean? What that means is that if you think this here greenback, this dollar, this buck, this paper note that everybody thinks is worth so much, is worth something, then guess what? It is. Until it's not. And that's where we find ourselves in 2023. Simple. But the thing is, it's been happening really since 1913. And it only accelerated in early 1980s. That's when it accelerated. Now, what I'm talking about specifically is the devaluation of the United States dollar, which was converted from money to a debt-based currency. Because when you pull out any fiat note, regardless of the country that you are in, it's going to let you know, because they have to let you know, because you are they. So there's this thing called manufacturing consent, and this is exactly how the system works. And I'm not trying to get into that on this spaces, because then it's going to turn into a 7-hour spaces, and I got to eat something. But everybody gets fooled into consenting to participating in the system because they put these things in front of you and you don't pay them any mind. You think they don't matter because everybody else is doing the same exact thing. And that's where they get you. That's where they get everybody. They get you from birth too. So you honestly don't ever have a clue. And this is why every little lie matters. Every little lie. Even the ones that you think didn't matter. Like the shape of the earth. That one is probably the most important lie that people don't even think about the most. Because it's so mind-bending. Because you're beat to death with this one notion your entire life when it's something else. And you just don't fucking know. You're not even thinking about it. So it doesn't matter. And it's the same thing with this money game. Why do you give a fuck about a crypto when you already earn dollars? That's where they get you. This is where the manufacturing consent comes in. This is where knowing what a note is. This is where understanding what the word legal means. This is where understanding the difference between currency and money comes into play. All these things that you don't want to learn, you got to fucking learn. Otherwise, guess what? In 2023, you thought you was living it up. Your bag is big. You're fucking King Kong. Nobody can tell you anything. Have they not seen your fucking portfolio skyrocket over the past 4 or 5 years? Bitch, I got this shit on Smash. You don't know what you're talking about. You just got here. Show me your book. Show me the P&L. Show me what you're doing. That's the reaction, isn't it? The boisterous, the loud ones that think they know what's going on. Now, I hope you hear me smirking and smiling because those are the ones that get gutted the first. You guys got to understand. You're listening to an individual that doesn't even have a criminal record and is from New York City. You're not as smart as me. You can't be. Because how the fuck am I even still alive? And people discount that because they don't fucking know. You see? And this goes for everybody. Everybody has a background. Everybody has a reason to be respected and listened to. The thing is that you might not know why. So sometimes you just have to take a step back, write some shit down, confirm what's being said. See if this person is for real. Are they authentic? And look, I pride myself on authenticity. I don't give a flying fuck about being fake. You can ask anybody about that one. Because I don't have any interest in what you think or care about. Again, this is the internet. This is a place where we go to find and share information. That's all the internet is. I think people have it confused as if it's something else. Yo, it's not more than that. I'm sorry if you think it is, but it's not. It's not a fucking fraternity. It's not a sorority. It's not none of that shit. It's not gang life. You're not meeting your family here. If you make close acquaintances and you take it offline, rock solid. That's what it's about. But it's not happening on Twitter. It's not happening in DMs like that. Like, yo, wake up. If you ain't struggling with this motherfucker, you ain't living with that motherfucker. So that motherfucker ain't looking out for you. That's real life. Because guess what? When you can't pay that rent, you think you can just send a tweet out and somebody gonna handle that? You gonna send a Facebook post and somebody gonna handle that? You gonna put a live on IG, let motherfuckers know you can't pay your rent and they just gonna slide you that money? I mean, is that what the internet is? Because if it is, you know what I'm saying, let me know so I can adjust my behavior because I'm about winning, not losing. So what are we doing? What we doing? Right? Shout out to Crypto Wonder. Why are we here? So have you guys like noticed that I always end up back at the why somehow? I mean, it's bananas how that shit happens, isn't it? You know, I've gone everywhere in this conversation. From my being born to crypto to why crypto to politics to accounting to coding to whatever. We've gone all over as I've been talking. But yet we always end up with the why. Think about that. Seriously think about that. Because at the end of the day, why are we here? Why are we here?
You know what's funny is you can answer what, when, and where just by changing the first letter to a T, and that's that, then, and there.
Yep.
But you can't do the same thing with why or who. And so why is so important because it doesn't have that simple answer that you can just answer with a simple change of a letter, if you will. You have to fully understand and embrace where you're coming from to come up with that why in the first place. And guys, don't go for like he says why, and that's so simple. Why is so deep, so deep, so profound, and it's not just
Yeah.
because of the notion of it, but it's the thought that allows you to embrace the journey that you take to get to that why. Right? Don't just say you're doing it for your kids. That's a base answer. Let's
It's
keep it real. That's
disingenuous. It's disingenuous.
disingenuous,
Yeah, that's
right?
what it is. Yeah.
If you really want to start diving in deeper, okay, you want to do it so that way they have a car when they're 16. Okay, you want to do it so that way they can go get their doctorate degree should they so desire,
Right.
right? And then not only that, how you gonna like it goes so much deeper. You got to continue to delve in, just like y'all's journey into Hex, y'all. The more I went down into the rabbit hole of Hex, the better and better and better it got. Well, that's what your why should do for you.
Literally. Now, okay, I'm ready to open up the floor. I think I've rambled on enough as to why crypto, the money system, because, you know, the banking system, that's literally how it works. You make a deposit and then they get money from the Fed to loan out to you in whatever way they see fit. And you are consenting because you're not saying no. And you're putting your quote unquote money in that bank. It's that simple. You are consenting. Once you do that, you are saying it's all yours. Have fun. I don't give a fuck about my living standards, living condition, none of that. I'm putting my life in your hands. Every time you give your hard-earned energy away, which is what money is, in case you did not know that, which is why it's called currency, that is what is happening. That is why crypto exists. That is why we are here. And that is why I will always continue to keep smashing heads for anybody that tries to represent fake crypto as if it's real. You're never going to get away with it around here as long as I'm around.
At all.
Period.
Good shit.
So with that, my bad, brother. With that, I'm ready to open up the floor. You got questions, you got comments, all good. The first thing, though, I would like to do is I would like to go around and get everybody's why first before we move on to anything else. Because I really want people to sit there and think about that. I don't want you here thinking it's a fucking hangout on a Saturday. I'm not here to fucking chill with you. I'm not. I'm here to provide you a very specific, pointed service. And that is get fucking rich and stay fucking rich and never have to think about money again because you end up understanding what the fuck is going on and how easy this actually is. Because that is the hardest thing to learn. I know it was for me. And I've been at this for a long time. But this is so easy and so simple. And that's what's so hard. You got to be disciplined. You got to be methodical. You got to know. And that's why that why is important. And I'm going to let Pulse Former go first. Hold on, brother. Let me, hold on. What's going on? Why can't
I can already talk.
No, they've already been added as speakers.
Oh, go ahead, bro. Speak. Shit, what's going on? That's why I couldn't do shit. It was already there.
Yeah, man. Just listen to the biggest hearted, toughest guy in crypto that I know. So you want to know your why, right, man? You want to know my why? You know, my why is generational freedom. My why is so that I can raise my kid, not telling her, "Hey, you're gonna have to fall into this glass box for the rest of your life, and that's how you're gonna live." You know, to me, it's not really about the money; it's about the freedom that it offers and the opportunity that can bring to be able to raise my future generations to not like basically grow up with that slave mind. You get what I'm saying?
For sure. It's hard to break.
It's
100%.
so hard to break, man. And you know, I think that most people that like end up like in this space or in crypto in general, I think that they get that too. You know, like
Yeah. For sure,
yeah,
man.
because
I mean, think about it. I think the biggest driver behind the wreckage that we see in crypto is people's desire to not want to work and want to get rich quick to leave working, which I emphatically understand. But the problem is that change, it's a drastic one. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's a completely different mentality shift. So like when I first showed up like into this community back at like 6 to 8 cents, I was here to just get some money, you know.
Right.
And now
Right.
I've been here forever, and my complete mindset has changed because one, I've been forced to stick with it, and because you know bear market, bull market, right? I
Right.
ain't selling it, so I've been stuck
Right.
here. It's like, what do I do? You know, I'm just standing here with my dick in my hand. What do I do? I need to go learn. I need to go study. I need to go learn. And next thing I know, I'm like, you know, I'm on like a completely different mental mindset than I was 2 years ago. You know, and it's all
Funny
with the
how that
same goal.
happens, huh? Yeah, but funny how that bear market hooked you up.
Yeah, that bear market hooked me up, man, because I don't have nothing to do but learn. I can't keep staring at the charts, man. It's driving me nuts.
Exactly. All right, brother. Is there anything else you want to say, or
No, man,
are we
that's
moving
it.
on?
Thanks for bringing me up.
All right, bro.
Shout out you guys.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, brother. Bit Warrior.
Appreciate you, man.
Hello, Negro. Negro. So, thank you for giving this chance. And I completely agree with the Negro that why you need to understand the money.
That's Wells.
It's all good, bro. It's all good. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, it's really, important right now to understand money and how it works and how it is stealing your value. I completely agree how fractional reserve bank working and stealing your money. So important part is, to understand money and why crypto is important. Just you have to understand that it's not about getting rich or we all gonna get Lamborghini. No, fuck that shit. It's all about freedom, right? Freedom and ending the slavery. Okay, we
Correct.
all are on this hamster wheel which gonna kill us. We all gonna end up working 50 years and gonna be dead after that. So, somebody is manipulating our money. The money we are working for is coming out of thin air. That's a bullshit, right?
Precisely.
Yeah, it should not. So now, first cryptocurrency, right? Bitcoin came with a first Genesis block message, right? If
Mm-hmm.
you ever heard that message,
I know it well.
chancellor of brink of a second bailout, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the message was loud and clear that if you are in capitalism, you cannot go and rescue the people by printing money, because we are working for the same money. If somebody has screwed this business, let them die. That's what real capitalism is. But you cannot
Correct.
just print and steal our value and give it to them. They got
Correct.
the millions of dollar in executive bonus, not us, right? So they
Correct.
deserve the death if they screwed that business. That's where it started, and Bitcoin got launched after 40 years of research. We got successful, you know uh,
Mm-hmm.
double spending problem because it's digital, so somebody can spend twice. Somebody resolved that problem after 40 years of trying
That's
and
right.
trying, and it got launched.
That's right. From
Now,
69 to 2009. That's accurate.
exactly, right? So then what happened? So he has to open source the code, right? So that people believe in that why it is a central bank with 21 million Bitcoin and nobody can make more or nobody can print more. And he is giving a gift to the humanity that go and try this yourself. And if it works, it's a gift from me to you, that nobody can now steal your money or value from you, right?
Yep.
And what we people did is we copied that code and came with the Bitcoin 2, Bitcoin 3, Bitcoin 4, and Bitcoin 20,000 right now.
Yep.
Okay. So now the question for all these, people who joined the crypto is, okay, we have a problem in existing system. Now, how are we going to figure out that the crypto versus Bitcoin, or which is the cryptocurrency? That is the header here. What is the real cryptocurrency, or which is the real one? How I'm going to identify it? So for that, as Negro mentioned already, you have to understand tons of stuff, right? Politics, money, computer science, engineering, energy, everything. Now, for an average person, it is out of their range to understand all this stuff. That how I can I am coming from a software background. I started with the crypto and I got lost from day one. That what is this shit, right? And started digging into it, came up with understanding the money, and the
Right.
picture got very clear. So I'm just gonna give my 2 cents how you can identify what is the real cryptocurrency here. First of all, you have to understand the difference between commodity and security. If there is an issuer, it's an security.
Boom.
Means I will never buy Negro's money. I will never buy ATX money, because that's not money. That's Negro's money, right? So
Right.
to be a money, it has to be neutral. Okay, there is no name attached, right? It should be an open network. It shouldn't be censored by anyone. Then
Correct.
I can use that as a money, because I want to spend it without getting censored, right? Or without
Correct.
getting. So that's first thing, right? It has
Yep.
to be neutral. It has to be commodity, because commodity can be money, security cannot. So
Correct.
there shouldn't be an issuer. That's number one. Second is, you have to come up with, you have to understand this. Here, everybody's a scammer, including me. So who you will trust, right here? So everybody's coming with the 30,000 line of code, and here is this is a better Bitcoin, or this is better, ABC coin.
Yeah.
So how I'm gonna believe that that token gonna work and how it's gonna work? So remember that every code can have a backdoor. Every wallet can have a backdoor. Every DeFi can have a backdoor. Every damn thing in a software can have a backdoor.
Right.
So if you buy any token just by trusting somebody because I said so, what you are doing is you are putting your wealth in something which can have a backdoor. You wake up one day and all your money gone, right? So you have to understand that you have to check that code and verify, or somebody should have verified at least by thousands of people and agreed that it does not have a backdoor. Then you can go and trust that. Then how it is humanly possible that if somebody is coming with everyday new blockchain or new token, that it does not have a backdoor? It's impossible. It's impossible to download 30,000 line of code and verify each and every code and say yes, it is approved, it is approved. No. What is humanly possible? We have to agree on that one code, right? Then only the crypto can work. And I'm not saying it's Bitcoin or it's Pulse chain or it is Ethereum. No, I don't know what is that, right? The time and market will tell
Correct.
that which code is verified and what people should trust, right? So humanly, but it is only possible that we can only verify one code. So that should help you to find who has verified that one blockchain code which is working and establish the history without any hiccups. That
Right.
can be a winner, right? And
Correct.
only
Correct.
one will win. There is no multiple, because this is a protocol war. Remember that.
Yeah. I try to
So
explain that to people, but they don't want to hear it.
yeah. So you have to, and then you have to see the network effect, where the network effect is going, why El Salvador has picked one cryptocurrency, why Tesla has put one cryptocurrency on their balance sheet, why MicroStrategy is only buying one cryptocurrency, why BlackRock is only introducing one ETF, and why Switzerland Lugano has only made legal tender one cryptocurrency. That should give you a clear signal that somebody is adopting only one network because it is verified by thousands of people around the world, and they assure that there is no backdoor in this, and that's why the one protocol will win, right? I'm not saying it's just Bitcoin, but it
Hmm.
can be anything. But
Yeah, I get
you
what you're saying. But what you're
yeah,
saying is true. Like they picked what they want to be the winner is what you're trying to say. Because that's exactly what it is.
yeah,
Because when you look at the big picture, they've been trying to push through Bitcoin ETFs for years, right? Like this year is not the first time. This year is the first time BlackRock says, "Hey, it's time." That's what's happening, because for the past 5 years, Bitcoin's a scam. JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, only drug dealers, all the big mouths are down talking crypto. That's what we have seen nonstop, literally since the start, right? And when there's positive comments to make, they make them, but otherwise, they down talk crypto. Now that's not the case anymore, right? Now the tone has changed. Now they're saying, oh, Bitcoin is going to be the one we're going to say is the store of value because guess what? That's the one the broke motherfuckers can't buy and get rich off of. That's why. That shit costs 5 figures. So that's why that's the one being picked. That's important to understand. Because guess what? You cannot buy all the Bitcoin. Nobody in this fucking chat can buy all the Bitcoin. Period. They can. They can. In fact, they have access to I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of stolen Bitcoin that they've confiscated from other motherfucking scammers. The government of the United States. So that's the real reason why they're picking Bitcoin, because you got to understand how the beast works. They're going
That
to
they
pick.
actively spend too.
Well, oh yeah, well shit. There's a website, and I gotta find this website. I'm gonna find this website and post it. There's a website where you can go and see when they're actually auctioning off Bitcoin. Like,
yes, that is true.
yeah,
Bitcoin was used by very early days, and they confiscated
tons of
from
it.
the individual, right?
Oh,
Because
like you remember what's the name of that website? The
Silk
Silk
Road.
Road. Yeah, the
Yeah,
Silk Road
Silk Road.
website. Hmm.
Yes, and
That's one of the big
they
ones.
confiscated, and they are selling it slowly,
Hmm.
right? And
Hmm.
that's
Hmm.
the power of this freedom money, is you cannot
Yeah.
stop anybody, right? I cannot stop Negro to hold 100,000 Bitcoin, or nobody can stop me to hold 1 million Bitcoin, or nobody can stop Michael Saylor holding 150,000 Bitcoin on MicroStrategy, right?
Right.
So that's an open market. If somebody is creating more value, obviously he deserve to hold more Bitcoin because he created the value. But the beauty of this, nobody gonna print the Bitcoin and give it to them, while in an existing system I can print it and give it to Negro some dollars because he's my friend, right? So that's the difference between a centralized money controlled by one entity and a decentralized money controlled by no one, and with the hard limit. So you have to understand when the money gets fixed, how it's going to help you, right? So money definition is store of value, medium of exchange, and unit of account.
Yep.
The currency we are using is can do only two things: a medium of exchange and unit of account. Cannot hold the value. If you store $10,000 under the mattress and open after 10 years, it's almost worthless, right? Or you
Right.
can buy only 50%, and depends which country you live in. If you open in Argentina after 1 month, it is worthless. If you live in Turkey, in 2 months, it is worthless. In Sri Lanka, it is overnight worthless, right? So it depends in which country you live in. So while in Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency you pick, you have to understand the issuance of it, whether it's a commodity, whether it's a security, and the most important is it has to be limited. If it is unlimited, remember the value comes from the scarcity and not from the utility. Okay, because
Well, that's an opinion. That's an opinion. Value comes from wherever people see fit. That's a fact, not from where the code says it comes from. That's just not true. This is why
no,
you
I
got
mean
meme
if you
coins doing
Negro,
fucking,
I,
you
I,
know.
I understand what you're trying to say, but I will, by applying the physics and mathematics, will disagree, right? I mean, you can
I
put,
got you. No.
yeah.
Never
What I'm
mind.
trying
Never
to
mind.
say is
Yeah, you're good.
that
You're good.
if let's say if we have a gold and gold is outside of your door and everybody's door,
Nah, you're
gold
good,
will
brother.
not have any value.
No. You're
Okay.
good. You're 100% correct from that standpoint. I agree with you. Yes.
Yeah, so any money, right? It's this definition or attributes given by the physics and mathematics. I have not
Yeah.
designed this. So
Yeah.
what is the money's attributes? Whatever fits in those seven attributes can be a money. So what
Correct.
are those seven attributes? First is scarcity. If scarcity means divisibility, because if you want to spread across 8 billion people, then it should be enough divisible, right? So scarcity comes with divisibility.
Not
Third is
necessarily. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Because scarcity is just a function of it. It's not necessarily a driver of it, right? Because if that was the case, then why do we have humans? I mean, what the fuck? Humans are infinite, man. So I don't agree with that notion specifically. And when you sit here and look at the precious metal space, they keep finding gold, they keep finding silver. Is it really precious? I don't think so. And we know for a fact that diamonds are not fucking what they're worth, but yet people continuously get played by the market. So you see, it's a matter of society understanding. And when you don't have the information, that shit is not true. And that's why crypto exists again. This notion of scarcity is one of the biggest damagers of people's
so
mentality.
let me ask you this question, that right, if God has
Mm-hmm.
given you the formula of the gold, that this is Negro, you can make this gold,
Mm-hmm.
right? Obviously you would have tried making gold by yourself, right? And
100%.
selling
Yeah.
to the market saying that this is gold, better gold than the
Mm-hmm.
God's gold. And
100%.
do you think that gold would have a value of $13 trillion when
Nah.
people are making gold?
Nah.
No. Remember
No.
that the
Mm-hmm.
salary word came from the salt. We as a human use the salt, the salt we eat, as a money. Okay, why salt loses value? Because human found the formula how to make more salt using
Right.
an ocean water, right?
Right.
So and it lost value, and that's how we move from cow to sea salt to seashell. I mean salt to
Yeah.
seashell
Yeah.
to copper to silver to gold. Gold was the
Right.
last hardest money we found.
Mm-hmm.
Only it exists because of the scarcity, durability, portability, verifiability, fungibility, right? I mean, it was poor
Mm-hmm.
in some properties, and that's why we
I
had.
think you know what. One thing I'll say is I think the reason humanity really stuck to gold is because it didn't get damaged with time. Its chemical
Durability.
properties. Yeah, its chemical properties is really the winner in my opinion. That's just what I think. I don't think we can sit here and say gold is it. Gold is it because it's been it. But what happens if that paradigm changes because our world is changing? Like our world
Exa-
is becoming digital. You know what I'm saying? So, but I mean, I guess what I agree with you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. But I think that it's dangerous to presume that Bitcoin is going to be the standard when it has so many issues.
No, I definitely 14 years is too early to say that, right? Gold is
Yeah.
5,000 years of history.
Yeah.
Bitcoin is only 14 years, and
Yeah.
some other cryptos are 2 months to 2 years to 5 years, right?
Yeah.
So we cannot, I mean, you or me cannot agree that this is the cryptocurrency, but you have to look around and find that signal and you have to understand the parameters, how software works and
100%.
how
Yep.
commodity works, and what are the how security works and what are the risks on the security or commodity,
The
and based
basics,
on
basically.
yeah, and that's how you can decide that which money is neutral here or which protocol is neutral here and which is coming into adoption, and that's where you can bet on, right? So
100%.
that's what I would like. I would like to say that crypto definitely is the future, but remember that only one or two protocol will be in adoption. Rest of them are considered as a technology platform. If you are considering that there is second Bitcoin coming every day, I don't think so that's gonna work, and we
Yeah.
will ever succeed as a using as a store of value or medium of exchange or unit of account. It
Yeah.
will utterly fail, right?
Hmm.
And
It
in the
has to.
protocol, you have to understand that this is not a software or something that, I'm going to make another software. No, protocol works. When you find something decentralized secure protocol, you have to develop it vertically, right? You can't develop like TCP/IP. We found to run an internet to exchange the information. You can design, and people design better TCP/IP, but it's
Right.
too late. And because Netflix was not possible on TCP/IP, so you can't design TCP/IP. No,
Right.
what we did, we vertically developed the protocol, and now Netflix is possible on the same TCP/IP protocol. Now,
Right.
if you come with the one protocol which is decentralized, let's say for Bitcoin, and if that is slow or that is not doing one more function, it doesn't mean that you design another one, because this is a money protocol, and you cannot coming with a money protocol every other day and thinking that people gonna start putting their wealth on it. It's a bullshit. It never works, because why I
Right.
will put on ABC token my $10,000 hard-earned $10,000 into that by just coming just one day old? It's never gonna work, right?
Right.
So if you find some difficulty in one protocol, it's a software, you can always develop it vertically and resolve the problem. So that's how the software works, that's how the basics fundamental works.
Right.
But people got lost and a lot of basics missing. I came
Yeah.
the same way, but remember that this can only work if we agree on one code, and what do you call one code, and then we can, I'm losing my words, I'm losing my chain of thoughts. But then only
All
this
good.
can work.
Right.
Otherwise,
Right.
the whole thing cannot, because the scarcity goes away when you come with the 2 million tokens every day. It's never going to work. So find that one protocol and get the signal what nation states are adopting, what companies are adopting, what people are adopting, which is getting bigger in a value, that will be a leader. And if you think that the
I
next
mean
token will be the
that
leader,
stuff
I think
definitely
you are
takes
taking it wrong.
years. That stuff takes
Yeah.
years to play out though, and right,
Yeah.
like all this is still super early because what you're talking about is something that you would see in a century's time,
Maybe
right?
maybe a few decades, maybe half a century.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay, yes, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna take a little bit of time. Hey, I want to give a shout out to Alan Fizme real fast. I appreciate you commenting, and that was a great conversation. I loved hearing it all, Bit Warrior, and good
Oh
old
yeah.
Wales
Word.
only Negro over here.
Yeah.
But
Word.
yeah, just FYI, Bit Warrior, he does to everyone here listening. Negrodamus is in fact Wales only. To those of y'all who may not be aware of his Twitter handle, um, but Alan Fizme had a little quick message. He actually, because it's based on kind of what y'all were just talking about, and he is actually doing a 2 to 3 part video of the monetary system, and he's actually doing it on his channel. It gives the history of central bankings going hundreds of years to the early 90s, and a huge thank you, of course, to Wales West and Pulse Disciple for hosting the spaces. So, to those of y'all wanting to follow Alan Fizme's channel, Crypto Campesino is the name, and it's CAMPESINO. But yeah, just wanted to share that information real fast. He asked me to throw that
Word.
message out there, and Alan Fizme is a longtime listener and follower of the channel and PulseNation and supporter of all the ecosystem that is, in fact, us. So appreciate you, Alan. But yeah.
Yeah. Word. Shout out to Alan and Bit Warrior, brother. Thank you for taking the time to bless us with your thoughts, because they were spot on. What he's saying is accurate, and I talk about that kind of stuff all the time. There's on Pulse Chain alone, right? Hold on, I'll give you the updated number. Give me a second. Hold on. What's the coin counts now? God damn it. Hold on, because now the freaking thing doesn't want to move. Fucking pad bullshit. Hold on. 3,000 coins on PulseChain alone. On ETH, I don't even know. Don't care to look. But you get the point, right? And I talk about this all the time. You have to think about the reality behind a system and how it works. What is its intent? And this is why I tell people, especially when talking about Hex specifically, because people pretend to understand Hex. They do not. They simply do not. Anybody that does not state that Hex is an economic system does not understand Hex. Flat out, period. End of story. That is not a debatable item. That is a fact. Why can I say that? Well, if you knew how it worked, well, then maybe we could have the conversation. But this isn't the time for me to put you up on 3 years of game that you've been ignoring, right? Because that's the point. A lot of people don't like to educate themselves. They just like to parrot things that they agree with. And we're not here for that. You can go to the pet store for that shit, because you're never going to get that around here. So, if anybody has any other comments, questions, or concerns, don't be shy. If you want to talk about your why, don't be shy. Step up to the mic, because it's an important item. The why is very important. That is the most important thing that's going to drive your decision making. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, one more thing I want to clear on this, that people in a crypto space, a lot of people have a unit bias. So that unit bias is people are happy to buy Shiba Inu 10 million they're getting in a $1 versus something they are getting 0.001 because it's too less for them. But that dreaming that this 10 million token goes to $1, I will be a multimillionaire.
For sure.
But remember that you don't do that shit when gold is the money and it's precious. You don't go buy aluminum or iron because you get more worth of dollar. It doesn't that shit doesn't work like that.
Thank you for
Right?
saying that. Thank you for saying that, because I don't know how people think it does.
No, people don't think that, right? They say,
Yeah.
I bought Doge because I got 1 million Doge in $10.
For sure.
But I will not buy something precious because I only get 0.001. What I'm gonna do with that? Because they dream like I have seen people or army of Shiba Inu. They are dreaming that Shiba Inu will go to $1. Fuck that shit. Like that's a $530 trillion. So.
Right.
People put their brain out and they don't want to think. They just want to get rich and get the Lambo.
Yeah.
That's what the dream people are showing, right, in the crypto industry. And they say, oh, crypto, fuck that shit.
Yeah, pretty much. But that's again why that why is important, right? Because people will step up to the table thinking that it's one thing. I mean, and Pulse Former is a great example, as he stated earlier, right? He came into Hex around 6 to 8 cents to make some money. And again, we're all here to make money, because that's typically what brings people to crypto. I wasn't here because of that. I just found out about it because I was in the military or whatever. And that's what brought me to it. I didn't even really know it was money. I just knew it was some software shit, and that was really all I knew. But anyways, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, so let me tell you, everybody comes in a crypto space to make money from $1,000 turn into 10,000 or 10,000 to $1 million, right? And people turn, but those are very few, hardly few people, you can count, right? Rest of them lost the money.
Yep.
So, I came for the same reason. I lost in a crypto. I found Bitcoin, right? I'm proudly, I can say that I'm a Bitcoin maxi, but I'm not telling that you blindly buy Bitcoin or get into Bitcoin because I said so.
Yeah, you
go
have
and
not
do your
stated
own
that,
research.
right.
If you like it, go buy it. Otherwise, you are good with your green dollar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but let me tell you what I found, that this is a one human chance to get a freedom money or give a freedom money to your next generation. If we do not do this as this generation, our next generation is completely screwed up and fucked. Okay?
Yeah.
And how they're gonna get fucked? Because they are gonna hired by nation states because they have the printer running, and obviously when you have a printer, you can hire any damn resource, and if they raise their voice or something, they're gonna get poked. Okay, they
Yep.
won't be able to raise their voice.
Nope.
So, and they
Say
will be
China's
slave
bad.
forever, right? If you if let if
Oh, my bad. I was gonna say, if you think China's bad, just wait.
Yeah, exactly. So, the next is CBDC. It's going to come with an expiry date, or they say, oh, you just, bought 3 times meat this week, so you cannot eat any more meat,
For
or you
sure.
travel, 4 times, this year, you cannot buy this. So, next step is CBDC to completely make you slave or control. And that's what, I am here in Bitcoin, right? I left even crypto to just give freedom to my next generation.
Right.
That's so it's a revolution if you think underneath, right? Without fighting or going on the street, it's a revolution to take a control of our money. We create a value as 8 billion people in the society. You make the house, I make the shoes, somebody grow the food, right? Then why the hell
That's
we have
right.
to use somebody's money,
That's right.
which they control? Why can't we use our own money and exchange to each other, right?
That's
So
right.
that's what crypto is about, and only one gonna win. So just remember, just put all your chips on one, or whatever the percentage of chips you wanna put. Not all gonna win, all gonna go to zero against one that winner. And what is that you have to
So
find? I already gave you the hint, right?
let me
So
ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. You don't see a multi crypto world? Because I think so. Because
no, that doesn't work, Negro, and let me tell you why,
I don't
right?
see a world where people say, yeah, we're just gonna use this
Let
because
me tell you why.
it doesn't
How it's
work.
not.
It doesn't work today. Why would it work then? I don't agree. It does not work today. Why would people agree to do it again?
Okay, so it's going to work like this, right? Let's say we imagine there are two crypto. One is Bitcoin and one is Ethereum, right? For example.
Doesn't even matter. It could be anything.
Yeah, it can be anything, right? It can be PulseChain or whatever it
Doesn't
is.
matter. Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't matter. Now, one clear, thing in Bitcoin, I can see that how many Bitcoin will be here in what day, what year, what minute, I can tell that. I don't know about other chain or other thing, right? I don't, as I said, it's not humanly possible for me to download each and every token or chain to understand it, right? So
Sure.
I'm only talking about Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's say I'm in El Salvador and we are building a furniture and we are productive society. And there is another side of the world where people are using all this different kind of shit, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what is the inflation rate in that. So if they say, hey, take my pulse chain or take my ABC token and give me your furniture, shit that. I'm not going to accept that because I don't know what is the, inflation policy in that and who is controlling it, that unless
Right.
it is clear,
Right.
right?
Right. Right. Right.
So that's how it's going to work. So if more and more community adopting one currency, then you must have that. If you
Right. Right.
don't
Right.
have that, then nobody going to give you product and services, because end
Sure.
of the day, product and services you want, and that's why we need money. Otherwise we don't need money. Why you hold money? Because
Sure.
you want to buy product and services in the future. And
Sure.
who creates that product and services? Us. So if you come up with your pulse chain and say, hey, Bit Warrior, here is my pulse chain and give me your, some fruits I want to eat. I
Right.
say, fuck that shit. I'm not going to take pulse chain because I don't know what is that kind of money. But
Right.
oh, Bitcoin, I know that, it's a digital gold, and I know it's only 21 million, and
Sure.
it can hold my value if I accept from you, because nobody can debase it, nobody can make more.
Sure. Sure. Sure.
But I don't have any idea about other tokens. I don't know what Ethereum is, how many tokens they are making, how many they are burning, and they are making the policy change in the monetary issuance.
Sure.
I don't have any idea, and that's why I don't trust. Like, I will better trust the federal government, those 12 people, rather than Vitalik Buterin, who is changing that policy every other day. Fuck that shit.
Right. Right. Right.
That's Vitalik's money.
Sure. 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 I got you, brother. Thanks for your comments. So let me help you out here. Let me give you some facts. Number one, the government already controls Ethereum, so it's actually the same as Bitcoin. Number two, Bitcoin isn't even completed, so it's not even a reliable protocol that can actually be used on a international monetary basis. So that's problem number one with Bitcoin.
So no, Negro, I'm using this, many years.
Oh,
So,
I know.
yeah. So
I'm
what do you
just
want me to do
making.
with that? I can send you whatever the person. I mean,
No. I
Satoshi you want.
know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm just laying out these little base cases because this is why I'm trying to say this is why I think it's going to be a multi crypto world, because I don't think it can be a
Negro,
single crypto
if
world.
you
I don't think so.
understand software very well, if you understand protocol how it works, right? You are talking about two TCP/IP protocol and two internet. It never works. What we are here talking about, exchanging the value of information of value
Yeah, but
between 8
that's
billion
already
people, and
yeah,
you
but
are
that's already
talking that
happening, bro.
can't we have two internet so that we can exchange the
Mm,
information? I
we
don't
are
think so that will
we
work.
already have like 80 internets. Like the internet is like multi-layered. Like the internet is like a billion layers. You know what I'm saying? So we already got
It's a
100,000.
multi-layer, but it's vertically, it's not horizontally, just to clear that out.
Yeah. But that's exactly what I'm saying. That's what layers mean. Layer means is going up, right? Other ways it would be like horizontal, sideways. So it means going upstairs. So that's something that's important to understand, right? So
Exactly.
what's
And that's why, but that's why we have lightning layer and other layers on top of it, but it cannot have its own token.
Lightning isn't even on chain, bro. So let's not go there. But what's important to understand is that what's the problem today? The problem today is that everybody's relying on one currency to determine everything. Has that worked? No, it never does. And that's exactly why it's going to be a multi-crypto world, because people are going to say, fuck that shit. Just like you just said, fuck PulseChain and fuck whatever. Everybody's going to say, nah, we're not going to do one fucking coin. We're not going to do that, because guess what? That's what they're going to try to do. And if you don't know about WorldCoin, I suggest you go learn about that one. That's a rabbit hole I suggest you go down, because that's their goal, but it ain't the coin you think.
Obviously, Negro, they're trying, and everybody gonna come up with their own token, but at the end, the best money or best protocol will win, and it has to establish the history
But
and all this
hold
stuff.
on, hold
And
on, hold on,
okay,
hold on. I gotta ask you this: who is gonna determine that?
free market.
But hold on. Where does that free market exist?
That 8 billion people, if I create a value and let's say I serve let's say I have restaurant, right, and I serve the food to the people in
I
local
hear you. I hear
community.
you. I hear
Yeah.
all that, but that's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about, because at that point, that's the end of the fucking story, right? Well, I'm not talking about the end of the story. What I'm asking is, how do we get there? Who's gonna say this is gonna be the money we're gonna use? Everybody has to say that. It's not gonna be a government. It's not gonna be a company. It's gonna be the fucking crowd. That's what I'm trying to help you understand. It's not gonna be some government. It's not.
Exactly, you are right, Negro. And gold was picked by the people, right? Gold was not picked by the
I don't
government.
know. I wasn't there, so I don't actually know. I think people keep picking it because it's always been picked. That's what I think. I think people don't think.
Just to let you know, the monetary history side, any
No.
emerging money, right? Whether
I
it's
know.
a gold.
Look, whoa. I know the history. We don't got to waste time on that. What I'm trying to tell you is that people don't think. That's why crypto exists now, because this is when it could be. Because nobody ever said let's do some other shit. Because gold has always been there, but everybody was like, nah, we're okay getting fucked by using fiat. It's okay.
No, that's not true. Fiat got cheated in 1971. Everybody thought that our fiat is backed by, I mean, the paper money is backed by gold.
Hold on.
In 1971, they stopped that, right?
But exactly, and that's when everybody should have been like, "Fuck this, we're going back to gold." But it didn't happen, and that's what I'm trying to help you understand.
But that's what I'm trying to say, that because people were so busy earning those paper money, thinking that it is backed by gold, and nobody raised a question that, hey, wait a minute, this cannot work, because if you can.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you, right? People aren't paying attention. They're not thinking. That's what I'm trying to say.
And that's what Bitcoin is removing, that trust, because we trusted human that our paper money is backed by gold, and we introduced the trust in human society, and that's they broke that, while Bitcoin is removing that trust, right? You don't need to trust anybody. When Bitcoin is in your possession, it's 100% pure, and you don't need to worry about anything, right? And that how many Bitcoin out there, and how much issuance on what duration out there, right? That's what it is.
No, I get all that. But my thing is who determines that we as a society, like, so as you said, like, let's say I do go to a store or whatever, and somebody tries to tell me I got to use this coin. Well, the thing is that maybe we live in a world where that's not the case. Maybe we live in a world where you got options, because so far, that's what a lot of retailers are doing. You know that? Like, they're not just saying, let me tell you this,
right? So I went to Portugal last year, and I saw 100 stores, okay, around the tourist area that say we only accept Bitcoin.
Okay.
Right? Now, if you go to El Salvador and buy a
Oh well,
McDonald's,
we
they
all
will
know El
say we only
Salvador is.
accept Bitcoin,
Yeah,
right?
but we already know that about El Salvador
Yeah.
because that
So
they
that's
picked that.
how people gonna, if you go to Switzerland, Lugano,
Mhm.
people gonna say that, oh, we only, I mean, if you go to the store, they will not buy
So
any BNB token or anything like that. They
what's
say we only
happening?
accept Bitcoin.
So do you see what's happening? Is what I just said. What's happening already is that nation states are determining what crypto you use.
No,
And
I mean
that's
it's not nation state. If nation states,
it is
say,
nation state. El Salvador was the first one.
no, I mean no, but they picked the right thing, right? I mean, let's
Nah.
no. Then why other nation states are?
I gotta stop you. I gotta stop you because now you're saying government isn't picking it when government fucking picked it, bro. Yeah, that's what the fuck they did.
No, government picked it. I agree with you
All right,
definitely,
that's
right?
all.
Government,
Okay, okay.
government picked it, right?
Yeah, that's
But
all.
then why other governments are not picking it, right?
Oh,
So
because they're waiting. They're gonna pick something.
let me tell you this, right? I'm an Indian, and right now in India it is banned, or it's not. I mean, it's not clear, any
Yeah,
regular
it's like the
regulation,
U.S.
right?
It's
So,
like the
but let me
U.S.
tell you this: people are buying whatever crypto they believe in, right? Somebody's buying Bitcoin, somebody's buying Ethereum, somebody buying Shiba Inu. At the end, if majority of the population hold the Bitcoin, the government has to accept it, otherwise they're screwed, because people only hold Bitcoin, right? So that's how the free market works. If free market says in your country that only Shiba Inu will work, you have to pick Shiba Inu,
Right. No, I get that, but what I'm saying is, so far, my point is that so far, dog, if you can't speak, bro, I added you as a speaker. What the fuck? Are you muted or something? Hold on.
He's waiting for the turn. He can go. Yeah, please.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know if I don't. Am I not letting you talk? And I don't know. Like I don't see that I'm muting you.
Why would I want to interrupt you guys when you're not taking a
Oh,
break?
my bad, bro. Go
I'm
ahead.
not
Go ahead.
trying
We
to.
just talking, so we just going back and forth. Go ahead, bro. My bad.
No, that's cool. No, man, I wanted to take a moment. I got to preface what I'm going to say. That the vernacular that I use in my life has nothing to do with the presence of North African in my blood, which is indeed there. It has more to do with the hip hop upbringing and being on the streets of Philly and having, Schoolie D, the godfather, gangster hip hop, refer to me as such. But I just wanted to take a quick moment this afternoon, and I just wanted to see how are you feeling, Negro?
I'm good,
What's
brother.
good, Negro? What's good, Negro?
I'm good. You understand that this gentleman is not from our area of the world, right?
I do. I'm having
Okay.
fun with you. God
All
bless
right.
you, and thank you for everything you're giving us
All
this
right.
afternoon. It's got a lot of value.
All right.
Y'all so stupid.
Yeah.
And one thing,
Hold on. Let me just put this out here. For the crowd. For those of you that are American, this gentleman is not. So reserve all that racist
So,
bullshit because it doesn't exist anywhere else.
watch your mouth, right?
Basically, yeah. Just don't even mention it because it's not applicable in this conversation, and I'm not gonna tolerate it. So get the fuck out of here with that
Well,
shit.
just keep in mind, I didn't say what I wanted to say and what
Oh,
I
I
used
know.
to be
That's why I
comfortable
jumped.
with
That's
saying.
why I jumped in there.
I was like, nigga, just
That
say it.
that's why I jumped in
Nigga,
there.
say it.
That's why I jumped in there because I gotta let it be known because you
It's
gotta.
not my fault, man. I didn't get to tell those guys what to call me for 15 years.
Right, exactly. You know how that goes.
So
But
one thing I just wanted to
go
say
ahead,
on
brother.
this
My
one
bad.
too was the concept of the Bitcoin, being the crypto that everyone's choosing, or at least has chosen, from what you may have been saying, Bit Warrior. I think it's only a matter of time, personally, between the next couple years. I'm in the same corner as Wales, where these other cryptos are going to start getting accepted because they are interchangeable for fiat at some point. And so, like, Ethereum's going to become accepted. It's already been accepted in many places. Most places that accept Bitcoin accept Ethereum,
Yeah, I mean,
right?
and it's a free market, right? So free market gonna decide which money holds the value, and people gonna accept more and more towards that, right? So winner takes all, and
But
network effects takes all.
why can't they both hold value if they actually serve two different purposes or multiple purposes going forward in the future? Because crypto is so one-sided in this system. Like, Bitcoin has had four different narratives during the entire time its existence has been around.
See,
You're
it's
saying
like
its store of
this. You
value
know,
right now
gold
is the most
gold
recent
can
one.
be used as a money. Silver also can be used as a money, right? So you can use it, but you only want to see the legitimacy of the silver or other crypto, whether they are getting manipulated, changed, or modified at the protocol level. How much risk it is that? Remember that silver is a bare asset. You can hold it in your pocket and still is a money. But if you hold Ethereum or any ABC token, as I said, it can have a backdoor. If they change the monetary policy, it can go to zero overnight. So you have to see who has a control of it, or how it can be manipulated, or how it can be changed. And based on that, nobody's going to stop you to accept Ethereum or spend your Ethereum or save in your Ethereum. But the risk is those 10 developers, including Vitalik, how they can change it, right? So I believe in Bitcoin because I know that nobody gonna change the policy of Bitcoin since it's established from day one with the 0.1 protocol policy. So that's what
See,
I
but
believe in.
like
And
we all know this already just because we're in the RH ecosystem and RH has shared the knowledge, but Bitcoin has already had 2 inflation bugs, right? Back in '08,
but that's
right?
a
One of
bug,
them,
right? So bug can be fixed, and that's why it is verified by
no, 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 no,
100,000
no. One of them they
people.
had to roll back the entire thing, and the other one they ended up getting told about it before they were able to actually have that bug getting shown into real life, right? And so I'm saying that code is fallible. That code has flaws.
Yeah, the
There
Bitcoin
has
code is
already
no
been
bueno, homie. I'm sorry, but I'm
And
gonna
that's
have
why
to
there's
agree with
Bitcoin
already
is
been
ATX on that
$600
one.
billion,
proven in the past.
right? And that's why it is $600 billion, and BlackRock is coming with an ETF because it has a flow.
You want to know why? I can tell you why, because I work on Wall Street. It ain't what you think. So, I mean, if you're basing it on that, that's the incorrect reason to base it on. I can give you the right reason.
Correct. That's what I'm.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to get at. It's the wrong
Yeah,
reason
because
for what
that's
you're
the wrong
saying.
reason. That's the wrong reason. But I can give you the right reason if you want, because that is not the right reason. I mean, you got to understand how this shit works. And you as a
I,
developer should understand that somebody is controlling that fucking back end. Somebody's telling those devs what to do when shit fucks up.
I mean, nobody controls Bitcoin protocol right now, right? I have
That's the
downloaded the code,
story, but
right? No,
I don't know.
no
Somebody
central
can make
organization like
somebody can make changes though, right?
I mean, see, whatever you want to believe, right? I mean, there's a lot of noise. I know very well how to understand the signal, right? Of course, I got lost in a crypto shit and I found everybody's fucking here is a scammer. They just want to steal the value. And that's why they say altcoins are designed to steal your Bitcoin. And that is true. If you compare each and every token, in a Bitcoin terms, everything is down in a Bitcoin terms. Coinbase has launched more than 180 tokens. Every token is down in a Bitcoin terms,
But
and
that's what
exactly fucking with that shit reason.
but that's
Because
what
it is
Coinbase is
centralized
for.
token.
But that's what Coinbase is for, bro, and people fall for it. That's why it continues. If people didn't fall for it, it wouldn't exist. That's important to
And that's
understand.
why SEC said clearly that you are delisting all the token except Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the only commodity I can agree on publicly. Rest of them I do not agree and delist them, right, to Coinbase. And
So
Binance,
hold on, bro. You up in here repping the SEC? Because if you are, I'm gonna have to kick you out.
no, I'm not
Oh,
rap.
okay. I
Yeah,
was just saying, bro, because I draw the
no,
line. You
but
know what I mean?
I'm trying to say that, right, that all this
Well,
token
look, the
is
SEC is
centrally
not an authority.
managed,
Let me help you
while
out,
you
bro.
are saying that the Bitcoin is centrally managed. That's
Well,
what I'm trying to
let me help
differentiate.
you. Let me try to help you understand how Bitcoin is centrally managed because you're missing how it is. And I've been trying to help you understand this for probably about half an hour right now. But at first, I thought you weren't trying to say what you're saying. But now that you're saying it bluntly, let me help you understand. Okay. So you've mentioned several countries already that have deemed Bitcoin legal tender. Countries, meaning governments, meaning centralized entities. Yes, thank you. And on top of that, corporations are saying, yeah, we're picking Bitcoin. Corporations, right? Okay, that's check number 2. On top of that, now you have the financial system. The reason crypto exists saying, yeah, we're picking Bitcoin. And you think that makes sense. You think that's the route to go. You think that's the route that's going to help you find freedom and win?
No, they said that Bitcoin got launched as a commodity. There is no issuer of Bitcoin because that's why they cannot file a lawsuit, right? And why they find with the
There's
Richard,
no there's no entity is the point that
No,
they
why
can
why they
focus on.
file a lawsuit on Richard Hart, right? Because there is a
Because
separate
they
entity.
know because they know he has something to do with the creation of it. They can't do that to Satoshi Nakamoto because apparently he doesn't exist.
Exactly, right? So
Okay.
and he did not take any token in his pocket before issuing it, on a
Actually, yeah, he has $1 million in his account, and it's
no,
well
no.
known.
I mean, if
Yeah.
you found Negro, if you found about gold, though you are the first person and dig it into it, you are not an issuer, or you are not a,
I get what you mean. Oh, I get
yeah,
what you mean. I thought you meant
right,
if I got you. Never mind.
yeah.
Yeah,
So if
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. No, but here's the thing to understand, right? If it's a cryptocurrency, right, and this is the important thing to understand about the definition of it, there cannot be an issuer. It is something that exists, and that is it. It cannot be something that is made unless it is a bonding curve token where it is designed to be made by the protocol. And that's important to understand because BitWarrior is accurate in saying that these protocols, they do have backdoors. Of course. How do you think they get in there and fix the shit or do whatever they want when you think there is no backdoor? And in reality, a lot of these quote unquote backdoors are just admin keys. It's not a backdoor because admin keys is how they are able to get in, right? So this is very important to understand because at the end of the day, what are we doing by just thinking that spraying the wall randomly is winning? You got to be sure you pick your shot, pick your target, and take a good shot, right? And it doesn't matter. In my opinion, and this is just my opinion, and I state it all the time, I don't think it matters what coin you pick, but I think you better fucking pick one. Because if you
definitely.
don't, it's gonna be hard fucking times
No,
regardless.
definitely, but, because the shit gonna hit the fence. We know that, right? And that's
Economically,
why,
yeah.
yeah. So
Economically,
we
yeah.
we are in this crypto, but what I'm telling is people understand clearly the difference between commodity and the
Oh,
security,
for sure. They
right?
need to. They
So
need
yeah,
to. They
they
need
need to
to.
understand the
Yeah.
difference. If I make a Bit Warrior coin and I assign some token by myself and saying that this is a good token, buy this, it means that it is a security by default. I can say that no, it's not, protocol is issuing it, I just made the protocol, but I already have that in my pocket and I raise the money to hire a developer, hire a team. If
Mm.
I did by myself, right? Let's say I design a Bit Warrior token, I designed by myself, I put it in a virtual box, internet, virtual digital box, and put it in
Yeah.
the internet, and somebody adopt and start mining it. I'm not an issuer, right? I
Right,
did
right,
not
right.
issue, or I don't have even one Bit Warrior token. So that is pure commodity because I'm not an issuer.
Mm-hmm.
But what is happening in the crypto space? Everybody put some percentage in their pocket, and then they launch it, right? Including Ethereum, they pre-mine, right? 75% is already out, and they raise the capital, right? Whether it's in dollar or Bitcoin, whatever terms, and they hire the developers to do the work. So every token, maybe few, one or two or five, I don't know what that number is, maybe they launch without any sin. Even the founder did not took any token out, right? Unless he mined it. That's fair game. If he started mining from day one with other people, is a fair game. But most of the token people or VCs are putting in their pocket,
Oh, for sure. That's all
right?
VC. So
Yeah.
all that. So okay. All right. Let's talk about that because I love talking about that because I work on Wall Street. So this is the bullshit I fucking see all day. All right. So what is VC's purpose? Right? Why does VC even exist? Because most people don't even know. The whole purpose of VC is to essentially support the entrepreneurial backbone of America. Now, the way it used to work before this nexus of Wall Street was instituted is that people would just borrow money from family and friends in a bank. If they had assets, they would collateralize those assets and get money from a bank, whatever, right? That's very, very basic. That's how most businesses have started. In fact, Amazon was started like that. Google was started like that. That's the story anyway. Most businesses are started like that. I mean, there's many businesses that we know in your local area that they start small and then they expand, right? So that's the very basic definition of what a VC does. They get in there early, help these businesses expand, and that's the name of their game, and what they do. in terms of strategy is they take 500K. You know, they'll have billions of dollars, right? Or millions of dollars is how they started, and they'll just issue 500K here. You know, whatever makes sense with the fundraising round, right? It'll be $1 million. It depends because there's different series of rounds, right? There's like a whole series of letters that they start at the seed stage, right? And then it goes all the way to E or F. I can't fucking remember all the stupid details, but they'll do as many as they need to, as much as they want to value the company. You know, it's all whatever they want to do because it's their system. So it doesn't matter as long as people are willing to play ball. And this is what people need to understand. That last sentence. Because if you are not willing to play ball, then how are they capable of doing what they're doing? Right? And this is why crypto exists. I mean, again, we will always come back to that because what we're now seeing is a proliferation of this unfortunate, nefarious aspect of the financial system and how it operates. Right? Because that's a fact. I mean, the VC space in crypto is a problem. It's not a solution. It doesn't add value. It detracts. That's all you see is bullshit after bullshit after bullshit. In fact, let's talk about this. And I would invite some astute conversation in this aspect, in this topic. All these freaking lame-ass EVM chains that are just ETH copies, that they're just ghost chains. What are they? Optimism, Arbitrum. I don't even fucking know the name of these damn chains, but you guys know what the hell I'm talking about. They're all the fucking same. In case you do not know, let me educate you. All those chains are the same. I hope you guys understand that. Those chains are all ETH. There is nothing new to them other than marketing and font and color changing on the websites. And whatever adjustments were made on the back end to help you think it's not ETH. Those stable coins work over there, don't they?
Yes,
all of them.
I want to add on to that every protocol is an open source, and most of the BNB chain and they just the fork of the Ethereum, right?
Yep.
And they just
I even
modified
forget
and
about
just changed the
BNB.
clothes, right,
That's
from
one of them.
outside attire, and then you think that, oh, it's a brand new chain and all that bullshit, right?
It's not.
It's not. So everything wanna introduce their own token, and retailer goes in, pump their token, and they wanna dump on you.
Oh,
That's the entire
no.
strategy.
Hold on. They don't want to. They do.
Yeah, they do, right? And that's
They
why.
do.
Yeah, and you are always late to buy the token, and you are the exit liquidity for them.
Unfortunately, yeah. Unfortunately, and that's this is why it's important to be educated in these topics, these concepts. Understand the space, understand the field, understand the rules of the game, understand the game that you're playing. Because a lot of people profess to understand, but they don't. And when you hear them talking, it's obvious. Because
But
talk.
I still, Negro, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Look at the people's profile picture with some dummy shit, or some funny pictures. I mean, what they're fighting for here? Web3, DeFi shit, NFTs. What is that? You want to fight with a central authority like this?
But this is what I'm trying to. This is why I talked for a whole hour before I let anybody even jump in, because people have to understand what they're doing here. And most of the people, again, they just come here to make money. So for them, at first, it's not a fight, bro, because they don't know there's a fight going on. You got to understand that. A lot of people, especially in the West, they don't have a fucking clue what living is. They've never lived. They're just in their houses all day watching TV. That's what most of these people do.
TikTok.
But whatever.
TikTok.
I'm not even talking about the internet, right? The internet, TV, whatever's inside. This is what people in the West typically do. Look, when I first moved back to society, let's put it that way, I remember being one of the only people doing any physical activity outside. I mean, I was looked at like if I had leprosy. It was the craziest fucking thing. But now, 20 years later, yeah, everybody's fucking running around and doing shit now. But back when I was doing it, I was a fucking weirdo. Best believe it, because everybody likes to be comfortable, complacent, getting fat, looking like a chicken nugget, and then they mad why they can't walk up some stairs. Come on, man. Do better, live better, be better. Because you can't be better if you ain't living better. And that's the thing that happened. Like, it took me a while to figure that shit out. It took me years to figure that out.
No,
Oh,
I agree that people don't know, but they need to educate very fast. And once you understand this, right, this should be a light bulb moment.
oh, it
When
is.
Negro
It
explained
is.
to you about banking, and then you should start digging into it. What is money and how it works, and what
Yeah.
is your solution, or how.
'Cause there is one out there for the way you think, right? I mean, there is one.
Yeah, you say pulse chain. What do you think? I mean, that's what your answer is. Pulse
Well,
chain.
it depends what we're talking about. Give me a second, because
Okay.
we got somebody else that wants to jump in. Go ahead,
Okay.
Postformer, because we can keep talking for
Hey,
hours.
hey,
Go ahead, brother.
y'all were talking at one point about like one coin versus a bunch of coins, and I want to quote RH on it. The whole find a coin that has product market fit.
Yeah.
So like Bitcoin's not gonna do what Ethereum does. Ethereum's not gonna do what Hex does, etc., etc. So it's about all these different coins are just different ideas and different versions of math. Okay, if you find the one coin with the math behind it that solves the certificate of deposit issue,
Whatever issue, because there's a lot of
whatever
issues.
issue, right? You just find one that has product market
No, the
fit,
issue
and
is
I think
only
you can
one:
go
the
wrong.
money. We need one money to exchange between 8 billion people. That's only one issue here,
So
and that's why we all are together.
this is a
Right?
great topic. This is a great topic. I'm glad this actually fell into my lap. So check this out. People think, right? Because I just said it. Because it's a default. I'm in finance. This is what I do all day. People think there is a need for all these different products and services that exist in finance, options, futures, all this bullshit that's out there. But they don't understand that it only exists because the money sucks. We don't have any money. And that's exactly what you were just saying, Bit Warrior.
Yeah, no, that is true, right?
Yeah.
This trading and everything is a gift of fiat.
Yeah, it is,
If there's no
because
fiat, if there is no
there's none of that.
devaluation in the money,
There was
there is
no
no concept
macro.
of investment, right? There is
In
no.
fact, there really wasn't any macro until the 70s, because there really wasn't any reason for it to be, right? It was just,
Exactly,
where
because
were you buying stocks? That was all it was.
yeah. So in a short span, who are new here, right? The money has three functions: store of value, medium of exchange, unit of account. Our money, what we are using today, the store of value has gone. So where that people gonna find the store of value in a real estate? That's why real estate goes bombarding from $200,000 your home to $500,000, right?
Right.
The stock market goes from 2,000 S&P points to the 5,000, right?
Yep.
Your land goes parabolic.
I
Your
talk about that all
so
the time, brother.
so
Yep.
that's what it is, right? So store of value has gone from
To
that
zero.
money, and crypto can help us to get that store of value. But remember that if we agree on 20,000 different token, again we lost the store of value, because
Yeah.
we have unlimited tokens, right? So
Right.
only one protocol with limited supply or fixed supply, not limited supply but fixed supply, will fix this. And you have to pick that protocol, right? This is not an investment shit. If you think that something is next Bitcoin or next Ethereum or next this, it's a bullshit, right? So
It's
educate
been that way
yourself.
so far.
Yeah. So that's what I would say. So understand money and then find the solution. What could be the best money? And commodity can be the best money, but what are those commodities? So you have gold,
Right.
Bitcoin, and if you think crypto has something in there, you can find the gem. Go and good luck with that.
Yep. Yep.
I deep dive into 20 a few years back. I did
Mhm.
not find, and I end up having Bitcoin, because I knew that I need one money to store my value, because the money I use is losing the store of value.
100%.
So
Yeah.
I pick Bitcoin, but you do your own research. Read the Bitcoin standard. Nothing about Bitcoin standard. What Negro explained, it is explained in the Bitcoin standard, the monetary history, and then try to connect the dots. Okay, that will clear the entire picture,
Yeah.
and you will be able to think clearly. Okay,
Yeah.
crypto is a scam. Everybody here is a scammer, including me. So just be careful.
I love
Okay,
that
just be,
comment,
don't
yo.
listen, don't trust, verify. That's
That's
more
it, baby.
important. Otherwise,
Yo,
we are
yo,
here
that
to steal your
that
value.
reminds me of
We are
that
here to
reminds me of
steal
like
your
rags to
value
riches.
without giving you any return.
Right. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, Big Warrior. Go ahead,
Yeah, for sure, Big
ATX.
Warrior. No, I was saying that reminds me of just like a rags thing on that one.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
do
yeah.
not trust me. We are all scammers. In fact,
Yeah.
I am too. Like, and
That's but that's why I always say verify what I'm saying. Verify what I'm
facts,
saying.
man.
Go ahead,
Facts.
Post
I
for me.
love it.
Yeah, go ahead, Post for me, because you've been waiting for a little bit, brother.
Yeah. Okay. So like, I want to make like give my perspective on like the whole like money issue and like
Sure.
which token should be money. It probably wouldn't be very difficult to write a contract that says, okay, you just called your plumber over here and your plumber wants to get paid in Litecoin, but you only have Hex, so you send it to a smart contract that converts it from Hex to Litecoin, and the Litecoin's deposited
I mean, it
into
would be
a
hard because Litecoin sucks, but I
yeah.
hear you.
It's just
I
an
hear you.
example, right? It could be anything.
I just wanted to get that technical issue out the way, but I hear you. Yes.
Yeah, it's just like you can decide what currency you want to be paid in, right?
Right.
And so that kind of fixes the one coin for money purposes, right? So just the idea that I've thought about.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it's a
but
great
at the
idea.
end, you have to understand this, yeah, right? I mean, because it's digital and you can convert from one. I don't think so. That's how the thing's gonna work. Because I understand English and you speak in Spanish there, and the device just convert, and it's gonna be tons of translation and all this bullshit and the conversion rate and all that stuff, right? So if it becomes the frictionless one common language, I think that will be more efficient, and market going to make that happen. You and me will think that, oh, it can be multi coin network or whatever it is. The market going to decide when you
Yeah.
go each and every shop to buy a product and services. If they go towards one token, it means that you or your next generation should have that token. Otherwise, or my generation should have the token, otherwise I'm screwed completely, or my next generation is screwed, right? Because that's why we save the money for our
Yeah.
retirement and for the
I
next
agree with
generation.
that, bro. I
Yeah.
entirely agree with that. That's just
So,
true.
but
It's just a
if
matter
you
of
think
time.
that logic that Pulse chain will convert into Litecoin and Litecoin will convert into Bitcoin and Bitcoin will convert into Ethereum, that's, I would say, BS. That's not going to work, because we already have that kind of conversion, and you see the credit risk and all this stuff, right?
But you know why that happened? I can tell you why that happened. That was never crypto. People
Yes, I mean, it
just
was not digital, but still,
yeah. Well, no, but that's why it didn't work.
yeah. So I don't see that feature. One will win. Winner takes all.
Could
And
be. It could
yeah,
be.
yeah.
So
So just watch it.
do
Watch
do
that.
do people know like the Tower of Babel story? Because that's what you make me think of when you make that claim. So like I understand why you think ultimately it is going to be one thing, because it makes sense. It is more efficient. It's wholly more efficient. But the question
So
is,
it's like this, right?
go ahead.
It's a Gresham's law. The bad money. I mean, the good money removes the bad money from the system.
Sure.
So market will pick good money all the time, and we humans are creating value, and we are selfish, right? Why you will pick the bad money?
Never.
You are not picking the dollar and going to crypto thinking that the crypto will store our value, right?
Correct.
That's why
Yeah.
you're running there.
That's
Same
right.
way, I will decide that gold will store my value, or Bitcoin will store my value, or crypto will store my value, and I will pick that. And all 8 billion people gonna decide which tool gonna store the value, and
I can
that's
agree with
how.
that. I can
Yeah,
agree with that
that's how
100%.
the Gresham's law works, and that's how the good money gonna drives out bad money.
Yeah.
So if more people believe that, oh, Bitcoin is a fair money, or it's a hard money, and only 21 million, nobody can manipulate it, nobody can print it. Okay, it's fair. I
Yeah,
will pick that.
whatever people
Somebody will say,
like.
no, Ethereum is a good money. Negro says, no, PulseChain is a good money. But at the end, when you see, what is the majority agreed on,
Yeah, you
that's
got to go
right.
with that. You're not going to
Yeah,
have
so
an
that's
option.
how it's
Yeah.
gonna work, right? And how
Well, that's how it's
what
played out. That's why we all have to use a dollar in some way, shape, or form now, right? I mean, you're right to a certain
exactly.
extent. To a certain extent, you're right. But I think that
And
the
and
problem
that's
with
why
this. Go ahead.
how many years it will take to pick this?
Yeah,
It's gonna take
that's
100 years.
yeah, if
It's
not
gonna take
more.
more than
I
100
don't
years.
know.
We won't be here even.
Yeah,
So
we won't
what
be here for sure. Yeah.
yeah, so what we can do is we pick whatever here believe that this is the better money for you. You pick that,
So let's
and
talk
then
about that. You want to talk about that? Because that's
sure,
hard. That's hard,
let's.
right? Because I love talking about that because what you're then doing is saying, what do I think is the best value? And that's going to be dependent on so many different factors.
No, it depends only on 7 properties: scarcity,
Nah, nah,
durability,
nah, nah, nah.
fungibility,
Whoa.
portability, verifiability,
Yeah, yeah.
censorship,
But
resistance. And
you're assuming that the person making that decision is educated to make that decision.
yes, that is true, but you have to understand that I already teaching my son before Bitcoin, and he says Bitcoin is the money.
Hmm.
When we are talking about 100 years, so we are talking about four or
Oh,
five
I hear you.
generations,
I hear you.
right? So when my son gonna go and create a value and open a Dunkin' Donut, he's only gonna demand Bitcoin if you want a donut from him,
Right,
right? So that's how the things gonna change. And even though he's not educated, he says my dad taught me Bitcoin is the money, and that's how we born in a fiat money, and we thought that paper money is the money, right? We
right,
never understood it. Now we understood it because we know that what's going on, right? And we started digging into it, that why Bitcoin is here, why crypto is here, and we started and we found the rabbit hole. So same
right.
way, 80% of the people will never understand Bitcoin or crypto, whatever that token is, and
Yeah,
they will
whatever
end
it
up
is.
using it, right?
Yeah,
And they
yeah,
will end
yeah.
up using. Right now, people are using gold. They don't know why they are fucking holding the gold.
Nah, they
So
just
same
holding
way,
it.
yeah. So
It's the
same way,
same shit.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
you will become a father and you will teach your kid a right thing. No father in this world will teach their kid something bullshit,
Right. They're
right?
not gonna try to
Yeah,
anyway.
no, yeah. So
Yeah.
same way, right? I'm teaching my kid, and maybe HGX is here. He's teaching his kid before Bitcoin. And
Right.
if enough people teaching their few generations before Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is the better money, and you
Right.
should
Right.
only
Right.
work for that money, that's it.
Yeah, but
So
that's gonna take a while before we get
so
there.
that's why I
Cause
said 100 years, right?
yeah,
Didn't I say that? Yeah.
today, yo, you got. I don't know if you know about you know about Beanie Babies. You ever heard of that shit?
I
Beanie.
did not. No,
Uh,
no, I
Go,
didn't.
yo, if you're by your computer, you have access to the internet. Yo, type in Beanie Babies. Beanie, and then babies. People, yeah, I think people still own these things today, and this is what I
Not
want you
only
to.
do people own, there's money
It's still
involved in
money in it,
that.
right? Yeah. So this is what I'm trying to tell. This is what I want people to understand, right? Because I don't disagree with Bit Warrior. However, what you need to understand is that 100 years is a long time away from today, right? So in between then and now, people are gonna make a gazillion decisions. That's gonna take the market a million different ways. And Bitcoin, that shit already got a super head start, right? So people are not gonna view it in an educated fashion. That shit is gonna take time. And honestly, even though I know the most efficient thing is to pick the one currency, yo, I'm hard pressed to think 8 billion people have the capacity to fucking do that.
So I agree, Nigoro, and who can
I'm
help that, right?
sorry.
So whose duty as a
It's
citizen to
it's
teach
everybody's
people
duty. It's
is
everybody's duty.
everybody's duty,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I
Right.
agree with you there.
And El Salvador is doing. They are introducing in a school compulsory subject, right, to learn that and earn a certificate on Bitcoin, and they are doing that for the citizen, right?
Right.
So every school has to do it once they understand in their country that Bitcoin is a better money, or hardest money on the planet Earth for their country, right? Then
Mm-hmm.
they should start in a school at least. So it just take 10 hours or maybe 50 hours of education, right?
Right,
That
right.
why it is, and that's it. That's how
Well,
you can spread the fastest, because they understand they are young, they are technical, they understand computer fast than the older boomers, right?
right,
And
right.
that's how you can spread it faster. So
So,
it's a citizen's duty, and whichever country is adopting or they want to bring that adoption faster, they're
right.
already doing it. But as you said, is a zillions decisions people gonna make in between over 100 years.
Yeah.
And that's why any monetary revolution happens. Do you think that the people switch from the salt to the copper overnight?
Nah.
No. When the shit gonna hit the fence, when the salt, when you wake up with your entire pile of salt went to zero, that's where you wake up, right? In
Right.
Argentina, people, you go there, they will run. They will ask you, hey, how can I save my money? And if you say that, hey, here's the Bitcoin, he's going to start learning fast. Then the people in the US, if you said, no, man, I'm good, my dollar is good. But
Right.
that's how people learn, right? So,
They gonna learn for
yeah,
sure. They learning right now. In the US,
exactly.
people are learning right now.
Exactly. So they're going to take their own time, and it's a
hmm
citizen's duty. When you know the truth, you tell the truth. That's it.
Right.
That's the
Right.
all
Yeah.
you can do,
That's
right?
what I preach, bro. That's what I preach. And
And
that,
and,
but
and I appreciate that you're
hmm
preaching the right thing about the banking and all that. I completely agree with that part. So and that's all we can do. We can teach that guys, wake up. Don't wait till the shit hit the fence. It's gonna definitely not today, then tomorrow, or maybe in your retirement. You don't want to
right.
wait for that moment.
Yo, you know how many people I know that are older than me that think they're gonna live off their pension? It's sad, bro. It's so
It's
sad
sad.
because I was.
Pension.
Oh man, look, I was a young guy. This is when I was a young guy. I was telling this to old men. They were looking at me like I was on my fucking mind. Cause I'm in my 20s, early 30s, telling people this shit. And they can't. A person that's lived in a monotonic state their whole life where they don't understand volatility. When you explain it to them, they can't wrap their fucking head around it.
Negro, forget about that, right? This is a designed or controlled system.
Yeah,
Okay,
for
they
sure.
they got a lollipop that you can have a
Yeah.
pension and you can have a 401k,
Yeah.
so they can print the money, right? They don't know that they won't be able to get a day of food with their pension check.
Oh my God, it's gonna be
Okay,
brutal, bro. It's going to be so brutal because we're already there.
exactly. We are
We're
there.
we're already there. I mean, these people, if they get a lot of money in a month, it's $4,000 or $5,000. That's it.
I see, Negro. I see on a macroeconomics, what I understood after understanding Bitcoin, that we may see, okay, in the United States, we may see from 10% to 100% inflation. Okay.
Probably gonna be worse than that.
Yeah, or maybe 300%. I'm trying to be conservative here
I'm
with
sorry, but
10% to.
you probably shouldn't be. I'm being so serious because the amount of debt in the system is uncalculatable in reality. And once you learn enough about the system that you understand the intricacies of it to a degree that it's just nauseating. I mean, brother, I could quote you the number
No,
where it's
forget about the
maxed
debt.
out.
Did
Yeah,
you did you
it's
look at the
it's
unfunded liability? $200 trillion over 30 years. Where the hell gonna get the $200 trillion
but
over
this is what
30
I'm
years?
but this is what I'm telling you. The capacity for that number is actually 14 quadrillion. Yeah.
We are fucked, completely.
Well, this is the thing. This is why this education and this point in time, I think, is going to start a transitionary period economically, right? Where ultimately, over time, maybe we do end up with one coin. But for now, I'm hard pressed to see that because so much education is needed for people to even understand what is going on because it's just like you said, bro. This controlled state of affairs has everybody lulled asleep, and they don't know. They think that this is just how it's going to be. This is just how it is. And they don't understand that it's not, and it's going to change in an instant. And when that change happens, you're going to be so unprepared that you're not going to be able to fucking help yourself.
Definitely, I agree, Negro. And people who are new here, right? Those who don't understand macroeconomics. When you have a reserve currency and other countries agree on that, what happens over that 100 years is you are exporting that inflation to them. When they disagree, and you can see that China and other countries disagree to use that reserve currency, US dollar, right? What happens? Whatever you exporting that inflation come back to your own country,
Oh, yeah.
right? And then you are screwed when that inflation come to your own country and nobody buying your treasury. We are completely screwed, and the inflation go from 10% to 300% for many years,
Yep.
and
And
your wages will not rise at 300%. Maybe it will only rise at 200%, and you can
man,
only afford the food with your paycheck. Simple. Not even
yeah.
food.
So so look, I'm from the Dominican Republic. Like that's where my family's from. That's where I have a lot of life experience. And over there, the currency is 54, 55 units to $1. So $100 over there is 5,550 pesos or whatever, right? Like it's literally no money, and you're spending that in one thing. Like that's just a thing. That's a thing. That's not a going to the grocery store. That's a thing. You might get a few things at the grocery store, but that's it. So this is where we are going here, and in reality, you're kind of already there. You can't buy much with $100.
I don't know, what is coming. The next decade is a full of surprises,
Oh yeah,
and shit surprises, not a good
yeah.
surprise, you know. So yeah, educate. We can only educate people and wake them up. This is a wake up call.
Yep.
Find your best crypto you believe in, and don't flip it for the fiat, right?
Right.
And understand it, right? And see what is growing and which kind of countries are adopting what token, and based on that, make a decision.
Yeah, just
Binance is a scam.
try to be educated about it. That's really the best
Exactly.
you can do. Yeah.
Hey, yo, you all right with
Yeah.
me
All.
coming on real quick?
Yeah, go ahead,
Hey,
brother.
what's going on, everybody? Wales, Westcott, ATX, Bit Warrior. Thanks for having this chat. Definitely some good information, knowledge being dropped. Hey, I just wanted to say, Pulse Chain, it has some capacity to really bring us a level of freedom, because this is a World Economic Forum token that's being copied over. Who knows what the future of Ethereum is gonna have for the people, and CBDCs and all this and that. We need to, like everybody's been saying, pick a horse. It doesn't matter which one it is. We need some way to transact outside of the systems, outside of the rails.
Oh, sure.
It
Yep,
was something that
100%.
I've been researching. My aunt put me onto a couple weeks ago, a month or so now. Have you guys looked into the sovereign national theory, state national theory?
State national theory. I haven't heard that phrase before, but I think
So
I might be
go on
familiar.
don'tbeaslave.com. There's a guy, Brandon Joe Williams, that breaks it all down, and it's some mind blowing shit. I'm telling you, the debt slavery system, the way everything's set up.
Oh, you mean like the straw man
Exactly,
scenario?
exactly.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
so
I'm a
so
pro.
what do you feel about that?
Oh yeah, everybody has to do
Yeah.
that. That's the only
Yeah,
way.
so
That's the
I'm
only way.
researching into doing that for my family. My aunt and uncle, they recently opted out, put their revocation of election. They filed their DS-11. They got their 5-star passport. They are now a national diplomatic immune.
Nice.
They can't be
Wow.
fucked with by the system, because the system.
Salute to
Yeah,
them.
so my wife, I got a wife and 3 kids. My wife says January 1st I'm allowed to file my papers. She wants to see what's going on with my aunt and uncle before anything. But everything I've been
Right.
researching, this is, everybody needs to look into this. This is the most important thing between this
Mm-hmm.
and finding a currency to use that's outside of the rails, because they're going to be shutting people's shit off. This globalist
100%.
elitist fucking bankster
They're already
scam.
doing it.
It's
They're
a
not
mafia.
waiting.
Exactly. It's just a
They're
fucking
already doing it. They're not
mafia,
waiting.
and this has all been hundreds of years in the making. This is all, I mean, ever since the Civil War, we're not in America anymore. We're in a corporation of the United States of America,
Yep.
all capital
Yep.
letters
Yep.
names. You look at your driver's license,
That.
all capital
So
letters.
hold on.
Yeah.
Act of 1871. Let's not
Yeah,
get
I get carried
verbose
away,
about it.
right?
Let's stick to the
Yeah,
facts,
yeah,
because this is emotional.
yeah.
It gets emotional because you
It
understand
does.
what the fuck is going
Yep.
on. And what's going on is pretty damning.
It's crazy.
And people need to understand it. And I've done streams on the stuff, so people in the community are aware. They got
Yeah, I
to
mean,
take that
look at
step.
Texan Token. Texan Token, what Crypto Heartbeat and Brandon Rags, what you guys are doing, that's awesome shit. The Texas nationalist movement. My aunt and uncle, they're no coiners, but they're getting into Texan because they're all about that stuff. And hey, they're getting themselves into decentralized cryptocurrency. That is the most important thing that anybody could be doing right now for their own family, for their own futures, and
for their own
for
sake.
their own
For their
sake.
own
Absolutely.
sake.
Get out
For their
of
own
the
sake,
fiat
because that's where
trash.
we're
Yep.
at.
Hey, thanks for having
Yeah,
me
that's
on,
where
guys.
we're at.
Look into it.
Of course, brother.
Don'tbeaslave.com. All love to everybody. God bless you. And hey, keep up the good work.
Appreciate it, brother.
Salute, good sir. Have a great weekend, man.
Hey, you too. Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
thank you for coming on, brother. Appreciate you in your time, man. So yeah, look, the stuff he's talking about is legit, is real. I've talked about it before. The straw man and how we all are not who you think you are. I could talk for fucking days about that. So let's not even go down that route. Um, there's a lot of information, guys, that we have to be custody over. We've been lied to a point where we think we're okay being ignorant, and
Complacency.
it yeah, it's not okay. Being complacent kills. Complacency kills. That's literally my favorite phrase because it's true. When I was out there in the shit, that's what got your ass popped. When I was growing up around here, that's what got your ass got. Complacency. You think you're okay. You're not. Once you think you're okay, something's wrong. Period. Something's about to go bad. Always. Never fails. So this is why we're going through what we're going through now. People need to understand that they are no longer able to let some third party continue to dictate what's going to happen in their life. Because as long as you continue to do that, the more your life is going to suck.
Hey, just one more thing. I think that Richard Hart could knock this whole thing out of the park with going into the SEC battle sui juris, saying that he's represented himself as a sovereign of a sovereign national of Florida. I mean, that's what he is. If he knows his rights as a
Brother,
man,
I'm going to have to stop you right
you
there,
got it, bro.
right? Because you got to understand that when you walk into
Yeah,
their
into the
system,
maritime law system. Yeah,
none of that shit flies.
right.
So it's got to be a whole nother ball game, and we're
Yeah,
not going to
yeah,
talk about that here because we're not
yeah. This
talking
is
about
crypto
that.
chat. Gotcha.
This is crypto only. That bullshit does not apply here.
Yeah, yeah.
So people need to stop
It's
talking about
interesting
what
though.
they don't know about. It's interesting, sure, but it's not something people should be talking about because
Sure.
it's active.
Yep, yep.
You shouldn't pick up a grenade once it gets dropped. Pro tip.
Yeah, true.
Right. So take that, write it down, make sure you don't forget it. Because that's important. Because a lot of people are running their mouth about shit they don't know. Highly advise against that because it can't be used against you. The internet is a public forum. So do not play yourself into a situation that you can't get yourself out of. Pro tip. You don't hear me running off at the mouth, and I know a lot about that shit. So I highly advise that people stop pretending that they fucking know when they don't. So, yeah, do that.
Okay, Negro, I have to leave. Thank you guys for giving me a chance
No
to
problem, brother. Thanks for
express
stopping
my
through,
view.
man.
Hey, Big
Yeah.
Warriors, awesome, dude. Great conversation, and yeah, looking forward to many more in the future.
Yes, sir.
Sure, definitely. Follow me if you want to understand Bitcoin, and I do spaces and I share a lot of content, right? And if you believe in that, do your own research, right? As I said, everybody's a scammer, including me. So they are here to steal the value from you. So don't
That's
trust,
everybody,
verify.
baby. That's everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure,
that's
man.
everybody. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you,
Appreciate you,
my
brother.
friend.
Have a good
Yeah.
one, man.
Love you all. Bye. Mhm.
Bye. Oh man. All right. Anybody got anything else? Because this has been going for a nice little while. It's been a good one, man. It's been a good one. I appreciate everybody's time. I hope it's been useful. I hope the education is something you can take to the bank because it's very real. Um, do yourself the favor. Educate yourself. Find out what's going on. Right now is a point in time where if you don't, you're liable to regret it later. It's not 3 years ago. It's not 2 years ago. It's about to be 2024. Time does not wait for anyone. And that's kind of why I'm a huge fan of Hex. Monetizing that time, baby. Because until the end of the charade, you got to find a way to make it work. And that's what's difficult for most people. They're too busy staying busy. And, we're taught to be that way. You got to realize that. Why did you think they had you walking home with all them fucking books? And I laugh because I'm going to tell you guys, I was that kid borrowing pencil and paper in school. How do you feel now? I mean, it's comedic to me Because everybody went so hard in school for nothing. Like, look at where we're all at now. Everybody's about to go through the same shit show. And the fucked up thing about it is, and I don't know if people really get this yet, but this is what's gonna happen. You know, those without, they're gonna be all right. Those with, I don't know how they're gonna make it because they gotta learn to survive without. So those of us that already know how to live without, we're gonna be all right. We're gonna figure it out. Everybody else, though, I don't know how they're gonna fare. You know, them billionaires don't really got no skills in most instances, right? Like, these are things you gotta understand: survivability, durability, all these things. You know, persistence, drive, knowing how to survive without having all of the tools at hand. You know, a lot of people don't have that. People that come from nothing really undervalue themselves because they're taught to undervalue themselves. No, I didn't intend to get into this line of, you know, talk, but it's important to understand that you're capable of more than what you think. Even if you're already outstanding, you're capable of even more than that. And that's what's crazy. You know, how do we recognize that as humans? I don't know. It takes self-reflection in most instances. And a lot of the time, people don't want to self-reflect. You know, they don't. Robert, go ahead, brother. I'm sorry. I was keeping on rambling. You can speak if
All
you
good,
want me.
all good. It's good to meet you guys. I just wanted to throw my 2 cents in there. What we're seeing, what's going on in the world now, and most people that are speaking about, we're just starting to scratch the surface on what's going on out there in the world.
So,
And it's mind-boggling. Once you start seeing these things, that this woke, if you want to call it that, it's going to blow your mind, and some of this stuff might even scare you a little bit too.
yeah, it
So
should scare you. It
just
should scare you. It should scare you a lot, actually.
yeah.
And this is
So
coming from
just
me,
be
so
aware. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's some scary shit because, you know, they're coming at kids, bro. They're coming for the kids. That's how they keep winning. I mean, when I walk around, because look, you got to understand, when I was growing up, being a drug user was not a thing. Like, that was frowned upon. And I'm not even 40. You know, these kids nowadays, they're out here popping pills and doing all kind of crazy shit, yo, that I wouldn't fucking dare. And bro, I was a risk fucking taker when I was growing up. I don't know how many times I almost died as a kid. And these motherfuckers are out here literally trying to die on a daily basis as if it's normal. I mean, this is where society is gone from the 90s to now. I mean, everything is over the fucking edge. Everything. All types of music is ridiculous. I mean, what's considered new rap music is motherfuckers rapping about their crimes. I mean, I don't know how much stupider you can get, but that's where we are. And where the fuck are we going if that's where we are now? I mean, you can't think that these are the people that are taking anybody anywhere. They're not taking anybody anywhere, but that's who they want you to think is leading some shit. Who gives a fuck about some artist's opinion or some movie star's opinion? It don't fucking matter. But yet media will tell you it does. I don't know why. I don't know what life experience these motherfuckers got for me to give a fuck what they think. Are they even from around here? Because most of the time, these motherfuckers ain't even nobody I know. So who gives a shit? But people are psyched into thinking that that shit matters, yo. And it doesn't. What matters is how you're living. And odds are that you're living foul, and that's why your ass is here now. And that's why you need to take this spaces and listen to it again. And all the other spaces I've done. Because if you don't understand the problem, you can't know there's a need to find a solution. If you don't know that there is a problem, you don't know that you need to find a solution. If you don't know what the problem is, how can you determine what the solution is? What even is a viable solution, in fact? And this is where we are, because things are about to happen fast. They're not about to happen slow. The summer is now officially over. They could not pull off climate change. So that means they can't come back with some bullshit Rona crap because they don't have anything else. So what do they do when they are out of chips? Because they're out of chips. I hope people understand that that's where we are. We're at the end of the game, folks. And you have to understand that what's playing out in front of you is going to impact you regardless. You can avoid it now all you want. It's not going to change the fact that it's going to find you eventually. Trust me. I didn't give a fuck about politics until I realized I had no choice. There's certain things that life forces you to have to learn. You're here trying to learn about this crypto shit because you can't figure out the fiat money shit. Straight up. You think there's a difference. And the thing is that there is, but you don't know what that difference is. Because you still think it's the same thing, and that's what it's not. And that's why you heard the term issuer, security, commodity so much tonight. Because that matters. And there are so many cryptos out there. Hold on, guys. Sorry about that. That was some loud music passing by. Fuck, I forgot what I was saying.
So many cryptos out there.
Yes. I thought it was that. Thank you. And there's so many cryptos out there that you have to be careful of what you're choosing, right? Because it's like we were talking. Product market fit is key, right? And we already know Bitcoin exists. Already up in here, we know Hex, we know PulseChain, we know all the coins. PulseX, Inc., right? We know all the coins. Now, while it makes sense that we end up at one single coin because it's the most efficient, what's to say that the most viable coin is the one with the hard supply? There's nothing that says that. What's to say that the most viable coin is something like ETH or PulseChain? There's nothing that says that. I mean, there's nothing that says that Hex has to be the most viable coin either. And this is what's important to understand. There's nothing that says any coin is the most viable coin. This is why you, the individual, must do the work. There's nothing out there except marketing. And marketing is not valid information in most instances. It's very rarely the case that it is. Only in the RH ecosystem is marketing not marketing. That's the only place I've ever seen it where it's not actually marketing. And that's a fact. That's not an opinion. Because I don't see that for Bitcoin. I don't see that for ETH. I don't see that for none of the other shit coins. RH ecosystem, though, all that shit is factual. No gimmicks required. Everybody else need gimmicks, though. Even Bitcoin has changed its narrative numerous times. So that's important to understand. Because right now isn't 100 years from now. Right now is right now. And right now, we still got fiat to contend with as a problem. We still have that whole system to contend with as a problem. And until it falls apart, it's a problem. And you have to learn it in order to deal with it. Otherwise, it keeps swallowing you whole. You don't got an out because you don't know that there's an out. This is why we were talking about the straw man. Because it's important you guys understand that as well. And we will eventually get there because it's all part of the educational process of crypto. It has to be. You cannot be here and think you're just gonna show up, get rich, and bounce. As Pulse Former has already told you, it don't work that way. And even if you do, all those people that got rich quick, what are the odds they still have a lick of it? Probably 0%. Because if you don't know what to do with it, what are the odds you administer it correctly? 0. You eventually run out. Very few people understand what they got to do with money. And that's what it is. That's important to understand. This is why education is everything. Pulse Former, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I would like to make there's a paradox that I noticed with a lot of people that are kind of like waking up and like coming into crypto and learning, oh, there's new ways to transfer value, etc., right? And
Yeah.
like I said earlier, I came in here for money. I came in here to make money just like anybody else, right?
Yep.
But over time, I already knew that the dollar was trash when I got into crypto, right?
Right.
Like I had already known that much. But it's like you come in, it's like you find real actual products with market fit, right? You find real actual things in crypto that are fully decentralized, etc., right? You find real products. And you just want to come in and you want to buy them, sell them, and make money. But at the same time, you'll spend the entire time talking about how trash the dollar is, but you just can't. People just can't seem to
stop using
wait to get back into the dollar. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right. Of course.
Like,
I talk about that all the time. It kills me.
yeah. On a second note, and then I'll shut up. I posted your last stream up top. I thought it was a really, really like probably one of your best streams yet. It's the most recent one.
Thanks, man.
I'd like to recommend that everybody actually go watch that if they have the time, because yeah. I was just thinking about it. I was like, yeah, probably should tell people about this one as well if I get the chance. So yeah,
appreciate that, brother. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know, guys. Understanding the problem is critical. Please do your research. There's so many resources within the RH ecosystem that you can latch on to. But the main one that I like to reference for people to read first is the abstract in the Bitcoin white paper, because that first sentence is the definition of crypto. And if you don't know that, you don't know what you're talking about. And a lot of people don't know that. This is why issuer is such an important word, because there should not be any C-suite entity behind any coin. That there by default means it is not a cryptocurrency, which there by default means it is a security, which therefore by default means it falls in the SEC purview, which you don't want. Because that's the entire reason crypto exists. Because if it falls in the SEC purview, falls into the Fed's purview, falls in the U.S. Treasury's purview, falls in the IRS's purview, falls into all these different purviews because of the jurisdiction. And jurisdiction, went over that in the last stream. The last spaces. It's very important to understand because that dictates what rules apply in a certain situation. So if you're in Kuwait and you're an American, guess what? Kuwaitis don't give a fuck. You're in Kuwait. You got to go by their laws, rules, and regulations. Period. It's not an option, bro. It's not an option. That's what the fuck you got to do. In fact, so much so that there's an agreement between the U.S. and Kuwait, along with many other countries, where Kuwait can extradite your ass all the way over there. It's called the SOFA Agreement. Wherever the U.S. has troops, that agreement exists. That's a shortcut for you to know whether one country has it or not. And there are countries that, we don't have troops at, but we sure as hell can take your ass. And by we, I mean the U.S., right? Not the USA, the U.S. Because the U.S. is not the U.S. of A. And that's kind of what I like to think of as rule number one in learning about the straw man. Because I remember being in the military and looking at my duffel bag for so many years, and my uniform for so many years, and always wondering, why the fuck was that A not after that S? That shit still bothers me to this day. Still. I mean, I still look at anything that I got in my closet that was from when I was in the military that says U.S. And I'm just like, why the fuck is it? And I mean, I know why now, but god damn it, man. You know, you would never guess the fucking why. You cannot. You cannot guess the why. As a fucking normie that doesn't know shit, you can't guess the fucking why. And this is why you must educate yourself. You have to. You don't have any idea of the level of scammery that's going on out here. You think you're getting scammed in crypto? I fucking laugh at you. Ain't shit happening in crypto compared to the shit that's happening in fiat. And that's facts.
We all getting played, man. Hard.
Body. No Vaseline. Everybody. It doesn't matter if they're a billionaire, FYI. Because they're getting the most fucked. Because guess what? If they ever step out of line, what happens to them? You seen it. I don't gotta fucking tell you. I don't gotta tell you. So, study hard. I'll be around. Let's get down. If anybody has anything else they'd like to say, please go ahead. Go ahead, Robert.
What a lot of people don't realize is society as a whole throughout the world is taught to consume.
That's right.
There's the few that are out. I mean, McDonald's, Burger King, a lot of these other companies that are out there, they're taught how to sell the things there. That's not actually creating something that's going to help society.
Nope.
And there's very few that are
well,
out there.
You know what the line is? You know what the line is? Oh, we provide jobs. Yeah, at fucking minimum wage, motherfucker. Get the fuck out of here. Go ahead, man. I wasn't trying to cut you off. I was just jumping in.
Yeah. No, trust me, I get it. It's just enough for you to survive.
If that.
In the story.
Yeah, if that, man. It's crazy. It's so crazy. And you know what's crazier is that we accept it. Why do we accept what we should not accept? I mean, there should not be a single human on the face of this planet that should not have the basic items to survive. There is nobody that should not have a meal. There's nobody that should not have clothing and shelter and water. There's nobody that shouldn't have that. But yet, there's billions of people that don't. And nobody sees a problem with this for some fucking reason. That shit drives me nuts, personally. Because I don't understand it. I don't understand it because it's so fucking dumb. It's literally dumb. Because it shouldn't be a problem. But yet, it's a persistent problem. So much so that all these motherfucking dumbass, educated motherfuckers that went to college, got degrees, got master's degrees, got fucking PhDs are the main dumbasses giving money to these fucking criminals that are going out there and making these motherfuckers even poorer than they already are. It's the height of fucking disgustingness and stupidity, if you ask me. But this is what we decided is okay, somehow. I don't know why. But we're working on rectifying that. Go ahead, brother.
They're offering jobs, but they're not offering a living.
Correct.
And what you just said is like, for some dumbass reason, we've deemed that to be acceptable.
Yep. You know? I don't know. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. In fact, as ridiculous as this is going to sound, you know, when you're at work, you got to let the motherfuckers know your value. Because, yeah, they gave you a job. But guess what? If you are a performer, odds are everybody else there is not. So if that's you, pat yourself on the back and make sure you can put your foot in their fucking mouth to the point that they feel it. Because guess what? When I'm not at the office, the motherfuckers know. And they dying for me to get back. And guess what? I'm not giving a fuck. I ain't even thinking about that shit. Because it doesn't matter. Because that shit I do in 20 minutes takes them motherfuckers hours. Because they're fucking incompetent. And this is everybody. It don't matter the industry. And this is what people have to understand, yo. We're all human. We're all just trying to get by. And that's what sucks. Is that if we weren't all just trying to get by, if we were all just trying a little bit more, we wouldn't have to try to get by. Everybody would just be all good. But nah. Motherfuckers is too busy thinking they got it going on, thinking they got it figured out. But what ends up happening is you get humbled. You get your ego put up your ass because that shit don't pay the bills. You get pride cutting you up the fuck up, because that shit don't pay the bills either. So you get all these life lessons just to learn that you really just have to be a friendly person. There's nothing wrong with being kind. There's nothing wrong with putting people in their place. And there's nothing wrong with not agreeing with everybody, because everybody doesn't have it figured out. And that's a fact. So, everybody doesn't have this point of view clearly, because, everybody thinks some entity is supposed to tell them how to live. And unfortunately, that's not the case. Go ahead, Robert. I'm sorry. I wasn't even looking at the phone, bro.
All good, all good. Here's a really interesting thing to think about too. The majority of the people out there have a scarcity mindset. Once you can get over that, and there's more abundance out there in the world than you can ever imagine. And if you set that to an abundance mindset, you'd be surprised what doors will open for you and what things will happen for you in life. It's mind boggling.
True. That's so true, man. I feel like in a lot of ways, just deciding to provide this kind of education to whoever has done that for me, it has helped me understand. And that's a decision I had to make at first, right? Because I'm not the type of person that is, I'm from New York, right? What else do I gotta say? I'm not the type of person that's trying to talk to mad people and shit, right? But that's one thing that I really, really commend RH for, because he really taught me that if I had something to give the world, I should give it. I wasn't, and of course, you got people that say that, but it's one thing for somebody to say it, and it's another thing for somebody to say it and do it at the same time. It makes a different impression. And I think that that's why I've tried to quit doing this so many times, because it's a thankless endeavor, and it's frustrating at times. And I know at the beginning of the bull market, I was super frustrated based on how everybody was switching sides. And it hasn't changed. I just learned how to deal with it, because at the end of the day, I had to learn that people are just really projecting outward what is wrong inward. That's ultimately what it is for 99.9% of the population, even those that are in quote unquote power. Because what happens is that once that vein of existence is removed, people wake the fuck up real quick. And I know because it happened to me, right? So this is something that is, everybody has the same aspect of them. There is nobody that's different from that perspective, because everybody grows up under the same lie. And that's what defines us. We're all defined by a lie to a certain degree. Until you learn what the truth is, in fact, your life is entirely defined by a lie. And that's something you should know, especially if you're new and you ain't been around me long. Especially if this is your first time hearing me, everything about your life is defined by a lie. Doesn't matter what you do, who you are, where you're from, where you're at. You could be the richest motherfucker. You could be Elon Musk. I don't care. Your life is defined by a lie. Period. Especially if you're Elon Musk. Actually. Yeah. Tesla and fucking SpaceX. Yeah. Your shit is defined by a lie, homie. All that shit. Anyway, so these are things that are important to understand. Go ahead, Postform.
Man, do y'all ever get the urge, like when you're walking through a building and it's got like those straight tiles, to try to just walk in a straight line on those tiles because of like what happened in like school when they would have you like, single file line to the lunchroom, stay in your own tile lane. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You ever
I
get
know.
that like
Everybody
urge?
gets the same treatment, bro. Because what are they trying to do? And this is what I'm talking about. What are they trying to do? They're trying to
Institutionalize you, train you.
program you.
Yeah. And it's like, even though I know that it's a lie, I still see those tiles and I'm like, I just get that urge to just
But
walk in that.
that's because that's how you were programmed, bro.
Exactly.
Right? So that's important to understand that. And everybody isn't. I'm not pro. That shit didn't work on me. You see, everybody didn't get the same impact. There's certain things that did work on me, other things that did not, because
Right.
everybody's propensity to project is how the things work on them. That's the thing that I had to learn, because why was I a certain way? Why was my homie a certain way? Why are you a certain way? It's because of how we are raised, how we grow up, the traumas we go through, the traumas we don't go through. right? All these things piece us together to be whatever we become. And that's what's hard for us to realize, because all these things we go through, we don't actually have to go through them. All the suffering and pain exists because society wills it to be so. That's
Yep.
it. Yo, that's it. And nobody can tell me otherwise. I would love for somebody to tell me that it's not the case. How not?
It's like
Every
religious persecution, man.
It
If
is
it's
religious
socially
persecution. That
acceptable, that
but
doesn't make it right.
but that's exactly where it started. Think about it.
Yep.
The changing of society as we know it starts with religion. Religion is the problem, bro. And people ain't ready to hear that. But that's a fact. Religion is the basis of all of this. In fact, in motherfucking fact, let's take it right here. What do you call a different note of money? You call that shit a different denomination, don't you?
Yep.
And where does that word come from? Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. And there's some facts for the night, because again, ain't about nothing but the facts, and everybody isn't ready for all the facts. This is why I had to shut down a few people. And it's not because I'm trying to be rude, it's because I'm trying to provide this for everybody. I'm not trying to get anybody to get turned off or none of that. I'm not trying to make it a one-dimensional conversation. It needs to be about everything, because this is about everything. And that's important for everybody to understand. And to work our way up to all the problems, you need to understand all of these different issues. If you step up to the plate, right? Like let's say you go from high school to the league and you're not a LeBron and you're not a Kobe. You're not going to be able to handle that. You're getting sent right the fuck to college or whatever the fuck that in between step is. That's what's going to happen. And that's why we can't have all the conversations we want to have. And that's very important to understand. There's nothing wrong with dropping a slight fact here and there. However, dropping the bomb on them isn't going to help anybody. Trust me, I've already done that. It just
Yep.
pisses people off.
Yeah. You got
And
to
then,
really.
yeah, they're not trying to hear you.
Yeah. You got to really like, because what you're talking about, I've kind of experienced like going to talk to other crypto communities lately,
Yeah,
and like, look, man, I showed up. I tell them, hey, I like Richard Hart, dude. For days, man, those guys were bagging on me. They're
for
still
sure,
bagging on me of it.
for sure,
But hey, it's been a week. I show up in their chat and they know what kind of guy I am. They know what kind of person I am.
for
They know how
sure.
I like to talk. And like, I had to show them, hey, we have the same values. We just express it in different ways.
Correct.
And I think that that's really important to see, because like the tribalism and stuff in crypto doesn't really help anybody, because we're all fighting the same war.
Well, that's the thing, bro. A lot of us aren't. A lot of us think we are, and
True.
that's why I always come with certain informational points, because I'm not trying to hear that shit that you're talking about, just that one coin. Like, nah, bro, hold the fuck up, because I'm about that shit too. So I don't want to make this a waste of time. You see what I'm saying? And I think
Right.
people don't understand that. They think I'm just trying to shut people out. Like, nah. Let's have an actual conversation. I'm not really trying to hear your bullshit. I'm trying to hear the facts. You see what I'm saying? And
Right.
that's a major difference that people aren't used to. They used to just spouting opinions, bro. And I'm not with that shit. That's the
Yeah.
main reason I've never really participated in the spaces. I don't give a fuck about your opinion, bro. I give a fuck about what's true, because that's what's gonna help people. Not what you think happened on a Sunday morning because you was feeling a certain way. Like, I don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah.
Robert, go ahead, brother. I'm sorry. Let me look at this guy get his words in. Go ahead, Robert.
Yeah. It's interesting how you were speaking about how certain people are at different places in their life, and it goes, with the fact some people aren't going to be willing to wake up. They're going to keep their eyes shut and be ignorant for the rest of their life.
Oh yeah,
But
for
there's
sure.
other people that are on different levels, and we just got to come at them in the right way so we don't scare them off, in any facet of life, especially in this new currency that's out there, this cryptocurrency. It's going to change lives, but people are too stuck in their old ways, and they don't understand that things are evolving in life for the better us.
Well, that's the thing. The money problem is gonna force them to come learn something. and we're hoping it's crypto and not something else because I'm telling you, man, I don't know where you live, but in New York City, you can see those economic changes happening last fucking year. Not now, but like last year. You know what I'm saying? So people are really at a very advanced point in the economic problem. Like the prices of regular basic items like vegetables and regular goods, like they're up, bro, a lot. So people are feeling that pain. You can see them at the store staring. Like just at a regular store, you hear people complaining at the deli, like complaining because they don't understand that it's not the fucking store. People understand that basic economic issue. People don't have a fucking clue. And when I sit here and remember this, I'm just like, fuck, we're all fucked. Because how are people gonna know that they're supposed to pick a crypto? I mean, most people don't know that the problem isn't for them to do anything about. The problem is that they don't have control in the first place. That it's not for them to do anything about it, that they have to just step away. That's hard for people to get. But you got to learn all these things before you get there. I mean, it took me a long time before I figured out all the shit I'm out here teaching. That shit is not something they're putting in textbooks, people. That's not something that they're publicizing. You just hear about the World Economic Forum recently. I knew about this shit 20 fucking years ago. And trust me, 20 years ago, it was hard to learn about them. It wasn't just on the internet out there for everybody to see like they are now. So these are things that you guys got to take into account when you're out here in these crypto streets because they're mean people. They're out here to take everything you got and they're out here to eliminate you, in fact. So, okay, I'm going to end it with this because you got to understand this. Just because we're talking about all this real shit. Those carbon emissions they're trying to reduce. You do know that you're a carbon-based organism, yes? Because you are ultimately the carbon emission they're trying to reduce. This is why they're trying to conflate sexes, in fact, to the point that women are not the producing entity between the male and female, but both are. That's preposterous and ridiculous and ludicrous, clearly. However, this is what they're trying to put out there in the main spheres if that shit is logical, right? I mean, clearly it's fucking asinine. Because your mama proves to you that a woman is a fucking woman. I mean, what the fuck are we talking about? That shit is dumb. So anyway, you get the point. Because this is the shit that they're doing, right? That's what's really happening. And this is why this crypto shit is coming to a head. Whether people like it or not, it's coming. So you got to be prepared. All this shit they're doing is to make you trip and fall over. So that you just disappear. And why you think all these politicians got homes by the water? Why you think all these politicians are riding in these big ass limos and convoys? Why do you think these politicians are flying in private jets? I mean, politicians are flying in private jets. I'm not talking about movie stars and motherfuckers with millions of dollars in the account. I'm talking about politicians. Why is that happening? Because your dumb ass is saying it's okay. And I'm talking to me, but I'm doing my part to wake everybody up, right? So clearly I see that there's an issue and I'm trying to provide the information that you need to go research the problem, understand the problem, realize that there is a solution so you can find it. Because if there's a problem, there's got to be a solution, right? I mean, you're late to the party. You've already seen what's happened in the past 3 years, so you got to know some shit's going down. So, it's hard not to play yourself when you don't know you're playing yourself. But be sure to seek out all the information. Be sure to listen to all the spaces I've produced, that PulseNation has produced, because we're out here trying to put this information so people are not flying blind, because that is easy to do. So unless anybody else has anything to say, to add, we'll wrap it here. It's been a very great 3 hour and 17-minute long spaces. Thank you guys for attending. I hope it wasn't boring, because there's nothing worse than the lame spaces, because, people are trying to learn. They're not trying to have stupid conversations and all of that. So with that, I look forward to the next one. Go ahead, brother.
Enjoy. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. All the other spaces previously are up on YouTube as well. Just look up Pulse
Post
Nation Twitter
Nation
Spaces.
word.
Appreciate
Appreciate
y'all.
that. Appreciate you, brother. Because I definitely had not put them up on the channel yet. Fuck.
I got you, man.
Yeah, word. Good luck. But
All right.
yeah,
Later, y'all.
word. Peace out, everybody. Thank you guys again for coming through. See ya at the next one. Peace.